at one point in my life, I reached 150 kilos in my high school graduation.
I love your confidence, by the way.
At 150, it's funny, today I'm wearing like a sleeveless blazer, whatever you call this. At 150 kilos, I would still wear sleeveless. And I have stretch marks on my arms and I embrace them. I'm fine with them. They don't affect me or impact me. Like, I don't talk about it on social media as much as I should because I'm so like, I choke up, like I can't talk about it. I choke up now. And I'm going to tell you something crazy. I've also never told this to anyone. When I got really sick with my pancreas, I told you, they gave me 7 to 10 days, I'm dead. My social media following and my clientele opened my eyes to issues I didn't think or knew existed.
The Nat Basma who I see today, is she there if your dad didn't go through what he went through?
No. Yeah, I remember asking my mom, like, how much money did Baba lose?
I want to make that back for him.
Yeah. تخيل. يعني to the extent that when we got married, I'm like, what did I do? Why did I get married? Was I hurt? Yes, I was hurt. Was I disappointed? أكيد. Am I grateful that this happened to him? Yes.
At an altitude of 37,000 feet, we soar, with a rich legacy of honoring our guests and a unique style that has resonated with the world for 78 years. We carry the name of our country on every journey and across every sky. We are Saudi. We welcome you in our own way. We shape our present and build our future. Saudia, our name and country, our style and approach, striving for excellence in everything we do. This is how we fly.
Funny enough that I lived in Miami, right? But Miami was all South Americans. And South Americans are like Arabs. So I relate. You have the mom and the grandma saying, what time are you coming back home? There's family lunches. Sundays, all my friends were in church. They have Christmas, they have Thanksgiving. They have they're there, they exist.
So similar.
It's so similar. I remember at one point I had a Colombian roommate. And whenever she would go see her mom, she would like cover up her family. I would laugh. Or like, it's the same. So culturally, it's the same. But I can't live in a city where there's like 95 cultures.
Yeah.
And someone's in booty shorts.
Yeah.
Someone else is in abaya. Not that this is wrong or this is wrong. You can do whatever you want. But I can't. I'm not saying I'm the most conservative person. I'm not. But I'm not liberal.
Yeah.
يعني شوية. Give me middle.
This is the middle ground.
And I wasn't born here, but I was raised here most of my life.
So dad came here for a job?
No.
How did Kuwait come into your life?
We were living in Sierra Leone, West Africa. So my grandfather and my great-grandfather had a business there. And then in 1990, after the war here, صار في انقلاب over there. My grandfather from my mom's side was living in Kuwait على أيام الروبية, like back in the day. And when there was انقلاب over there, my dad was like, he told my mom, you have to leave with the kids and I'll figure it out. And maybe it'll get better. So my grandfather who was here was like, come to Kuwait. And my dad just came to check it out. And here we are.
And started working here back in the 80s, was it?
No, 92.
Right after the war.
Right after the war. Isn't that crazy? Like
at a time when many people were probably leaving the region, most of all Kuwait.
But my grandfather from my mom's side, when the war happened, he didn't leave. Okay. He refused to leave.
Very brave.
I mean, even my dad's like that now. Like my dad, when the Emir passed away, Allah yarhamu, he was like sitting and crying. I'm like, did something happen to Teta? He's like, no, the Emir died.
Wow, he feels like he's a citizen of the country.
He doesn't like being in Lebanon. I mean, obviously, because I always say this to people who are Lebanese living in Lebanon. When you live in Kuwait, you can't live anywhere else. End of story. Yeah. You can get opportunities anywhere and everywhere. I've gotten crazy opportunities to this day to work in the US,
Yeah.
But I can't. because it's just like there's a good balance of work and social life and family life that doesn't exist anywhere else. I don't know about Saudi. Maybe Riyadh is similar to Kuwait or used to be. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
I would think Riyadh.
I can speak on behalf of Jeddah, which is where I'm from. You know what, Nat? I moved back from Dubai 13 years ago. And for the longest time since moving back, I was like, I want to move back to Dubai. I want to move back to Dubai. If I can live anywhere in the world, Dubai, it's the middle ground. But 5 years ago, something happened. And I think it's the reason for my happiness today. When someone asks me, if there's anywhere in the world you want to live, I play this game with my cousins always. Anywhere in the world, where would you want to live?
It's where you are.
It's where I am. It's so tiring to want to be somewhere else.
I agree.
And for the first time, I chose Jeddah.
Sah.
I'm like, this is where I want to be.
When I was younger, I didn't want to be anywhere else but Miami. When my friends would visit New York or whatever, I would go for the morning and then leave at night. And I say, I can't. I want to go back to the beach.
Yeah.
You know, and then in my 30s, as soon as I hit 30, I'm 37 now, I'm like, I don't want to be in Kuwait. Not even Kuwait, I want to be in my house. I don't even want to leave my house.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah, for sure. Rolling?
Yes.
Okay.
Just to back up a little bit. In the summer, like, I'll travel for 3 months, right? But then I start itching. I'm like, I need to go home. I need to go home. But you're in your home. Like, I have a home in Europe. Like, why do you need to travel? Because khalas, home is Kuwait. There's this feeling, there's this smell, it's just...
It's the most familiar to you, isn't it?
Wallah, no.
It's not?
No.
What is?
I know the US more than I know Kuwait.
So what is it about Kuwait that when you think of home, that's the image that comes to you?
Home has to be safe.
Okay.
And home has to be comfortable and cozy and easy, you know, and... stable. And alhamdulillah, we are very fortunate. I think everybody who lives in Kuwait is very fortunate because we have all of those, you know. And I find it funny. Like I sat and watch the political news, and I think the residents or the Kuwaitis in Kuwait don't know anything about Kuwait, right? So I feel like they don't appreciate it like they should. But when you're Lebanese, you know, or you've lived in the US, or you're an American citizen and you got to pay your taxes and you got to, you know, you're Lebanese and you hear about people like I lived in Lebanon for 1 month. That's the longest I've ever been able to do. It's one of the most beautiful aesthetically countries in the world.
Absolutely.
Stunning. But I can't live there because if I live there, I need a Xanax. Like straight up. They wake up, ما في كهرباء, no electricity, the water, the gas. Like the basic needs of life are not addressed on the daily. Meanwhile, I'm just starting with the basics. Meanwhile, you come to Kuwait and like, I don't even think about those things. I don't even think about an electricity bill. I don't even know like if my husband or my dad pay these for their houses. I don't know, and I really don't want to know. You go to the US, you know, you fill out like a Range Rover. That's $150.
Yeah.
50 dinar, 50 KD. That's a lot of money. You know, here, like, how much am I paying? 7 KD? So there's small basic things that you won't recognize or notice unless you live in the country. And I always say, like, of course, Kuwait has the strongest currency in the world, which is the Kuwaiti dinar. But you know when, I don't know how to say this in English, but
Say it in Arabic.
الدينار في بركة. الديرة مبروكة يعني. I don't know what it is, but like I say, God loves this country. ما شاء الله الله يعني يتمم عليهم. But it's like بلد خير. It's a country that's rich, not rich like materialistically, but just rich in everything else that you might not find everywhere else.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, you know, keeps me here. That's what, I mean, my husband lives in Congo, right? I could easily be, well, shouldn't I be living with my husband? I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I'm like, I'm not going to leave Kuwait. I can't do it.
Did you try, I want to get back to what you said about Kuwait, but first I wanted to ask you, did you ever consider going there? Have you visited Congo?
Of course.
And
I was born in Africa. I was born in
Sierra Leone.
It's the same. Worse, maybe. I don't know. Same.
Is it a very difficult environment to live in terms of safety, hierarchy of needs?
Okay, I'm going to tell you something. Africa, not Congo. Seychelles, Tanzania, Madagascar, South Africa, all these, Egypt, okay, Morocco, you see all these countries?
Yeah.
They have one thing in common.
Which is?
If you weren't born and raised in Africa as a continent, it's very hard to live there. Okay. If you were, again, I can't speak about Qatar or Saudi because I wasn't born or raised there, but I can say about Kuwait. If you were raised in Kuwait, it's very difficult to live elsewhere. Why? لأنه نحن شعب مدلع.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who lives in Kuwait is pampered.
Silver spoon.
You know? Doesn't mean that we don't work. We all work. We all work very hard. And I think a lot of my Kuwaiti friends work extremely hard, you know? But Kuwait is number one for services. You go to restaurants, it's the experience, I swear it's incredible. The restaurants are not good only because the food tastes good, because the service is incredible, you know? It's not comparable to Europe.
Like you'd never have to complain that you had bad service.
I've never complained. And even when I do complain, because like I'm a perfectionist, I'll say, this wasn't up to par. Out of the bill, I'm sorry, ma'am, switch, what do you want? They keep on insisting.
You're not getting that in Europe. At all.
At all.
They're laughing
and you
in
know
your
what's
face.
funny is that the first time I traveled with my husband in our honeymoon, our first stop was Paris. And I refuse to pay for something I didn't like. I refuse.
I like that.
I won't pay for it. Just like if you come and get a service with me as, you know, Nat Basma, the nutritionist, if you complain, one complaint, just explain to me what's the problem. Either I'll refund you or I'll make it up to you, or I'll refund you and make it up to you. Because customer service is key. And I left my house and chose to come eat at a restaurant because I wanted to eat a good meal. I didn't leave my house because I wanted to eat a bad meal. I'll just get sliced cheese and toast and eat it. I'm happy with that. Adi. I'll sit at home.
And I can attest to that. 6 years ago, I was on your program. I'm on it right now, down 6 kilos. 6 years ago, I was on your program. I wasn't doing something right. And I complained to you. And even though I was at fault,
remember.
we got on a call. I was subscribed to your golden package, the highest tier, where I take a picture of my food every day and I send it to you.
That was the diamond package.
Diamond package, excuse me. And it's amazing how sometimes you don't know who you touch in life.
Well, I don't know.
I know you don't. I know you don't, because you have tens of thousands of clients.
I do, alhamdulillah.
And alhamdulillah, Allahumma zidu barik. And I was like, Nat, and I was such a child, you know. 6 years ago, I was just so immature. You know, I'm so upset, Nat. You know, my weight is exactly where it is, and I'm sending you pictures, and I'm doing the, and you're like, you know what, Mo? I'll work with you. I'm gonna fix you a new meal plan, and I am going to ensure that you reach your target. And you refunded me.
I did.
You did.
I swear to God, I don't remember any of this because I talk to clients. I remember the clients of the month because I talk to them daily or every 3 days or whatever.
I'm talking not about your principles.
Yeah, but there's a key. There should be constant and consistent principles
I can vouch
for you to succeed. Yeah. You know, and maybe you were nice to me that I was like, okay, I'll refund you on the spot. But I have some crazy people. Like, I have some crazy people. La! Oh my God, relax.
Without naming names, is there a story or one person that really jumped off the page?
What do you mean jumped off the page?
Jumped off the page with outlandish or really unreasonable requests, like the most difficult client you ever had to?
Almost all.
Almost all.
Of course. My clients are divas because, you know, I mean, you get divas with a price tag, right? So I always say this, when you go to Hermes and you want to buy a Birkin, right? So the sales and the management team, they're all up to par because the quality or the type of clientele they're receiving is a diva.
Yeah.
They all have a lot of money and they all want a Birkin, right? So you have to speak to them a certain, you're laughing at me. You're like, how is this about a Birkin?
It's diva by definition.
Exactly. So all these women are on this mission to buy a Birkin. It's understandable. And nobody's going to walk and try and buy a Birkin, a $10,000, $15,000 bag. It can go up to $100,000 if they don't have money. So money is not the issue, right? So it's the same thing with my work. I charge a nice price tag because if I have to be patient, and I'm a very impatient person, extremely impatient, if I have to get some patience out of me from where, I don't know where, then I'm going to charge for it. And I believe if I'm going to take people's money, then I need to give them what's worth it. And they have to see the service, they have to see, you know, and I don't, especially maybe with men, I'm a little more conservative, but with women, I really go all out. Like if they pay, let's say $1,000, I swear they're getting $5,000, because with women, I can actually talk to them. And the fact that I'm not like from the GCC, and a lot of my clientele is GCC, like you can tell me your life story and I don't care.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't affect my family. It doesn't affect my qabila. It doesn't affect anything.
They feel more comfortable.
They feel more
telling
comfortable
you
with
that
me.
because
And I'm just like, talk, who am I going to tell?
Yeah.
The next client, same story, you know?
Like a therapist.
Honestly, I should have been a therapist doing this job, because a lot of people gain weight due to emotional issues, due to stress, due to anger, due to a lot of, marriage issues, or
They open up about that?
everything. You name it, I got it.
Wow.
Everything.
We're going to need some deleted scenes on this episode.
ملحمة من النكهات الجديدة في طريقها لك. مستعد؟ وصلت نكهة ليز الجديدة، المانجو والتوابل الحارة. امسح كود الQR على العبوة، حمل تطبيق جوي واكسب جوائز كثيرة. المسلسلات يبيلها نكهات جديدة.
The first time I looked down at my notes, and the first question I have for you, Nat, open-ended, take it the way you want to take it. Why do you do what you do?
For several reasons. The first being, when I was younger, I love food. Like, I love food. I love cooking. I love eating. I love eating with people. I love feeding people. Even my child. Like, the child's 8 months old. I make him breakfast, and I'm like, okay, mama, we're going to put eggs here, coconut here. I love food, right? Food is happiness. And if you're not happy eating, then we have issues. But okay, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was younger, I was eating, I was cooking. I have burns all over my body from making like creme caramel and flying. I'm a child, like 6, 7 years old, burning myself like that early on. Wow. And I would eat, but I never, there was no stop, right? And I'm never, ever, ever full. And I'm still never full. Like I've done blood work, and I've gone to the best doctors in the world. I don't have the hormone where it says full. Start, stop doesn't exist. If I start, it continues. And if I stop, it's because I want to stop. So for me, as much as I love food, I used to love Tyra Banks. I still do. America's Next Top Model. So I loved like the idea of being a model. I applied to America's Next Top Model as a plus size model. And I remember like you'd have to put a song, and while you have to dance, right? And there's a photographer, and my sister Darien was the photographer. And you put stop, and as soon as she stops, you have to do a pose, and it has to be a natural. So imagine, that's what I applied.
That's incredible.
Okay.
I need footage of this.
I swear. Like that was my application.
Yeah.
And of course I got declined, because there's a plus size model back in the day. Maybe now, I don't even know. You have to be like 70 kilos. Maybe me now with my weight is a plus size model. I don't know. Okay. It doesn't matter. So I wanted to look a certain way.
Okay.
And I wasn't eating for that look. And I really tried hard to lose the weight. I would lose it, but then I would gain it. I'd lose it and I would gain it. And then at one point in my life, I reached 150 kilos in my high school graduation. And my dad was, Habibi, he was sitting like watching me in my graduation, and he's sitting with fear. I'm like, why is this guy like freaking out? I was in advanced placement. I had amazing grades. I was like class clown, a social, but I was 150 kilos, but I didn't see that. He saw that. He was so worried when I was walking down that I would break what is this called?
Stage.
The
board,
stage.
yeah.
He thought I was so big that he thought I would break the stage, and he was so worried. كان قاعد على أعصابه. Imagine.
Oh, poor guy.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with him. He's always stressed, right? But that was what was stressing him. Then I went to Miami, and in Miami, I didn't have one chubby friend. Everyone was just like slim, but none of that impacted me until I started realizing that, I started getting rejected in places in Miami, like party places, restaurants. They wouldn't let you in. Like I remember there was one place in Miami called Mint. Anyone who graduated from Miami.
I didn't graduate from Miami, and I know Mint.
Everybody knows Mint, right?
Yeah.
And they rejected me.
Because of
of
Your
the way I
weight?
looked. I had the social skills. That's why I was able to get in, and I was very confident. I didn't realize what people like.
You didn't see it, yeah.
I'm like, what's your problem? Like, why are you rejecting me? So the bouncer at the door was Moroccan, and he heard me talk in Arabic, and I became friends with him. So then he would let me in with like 35 different models, and all my friends looked like models, right? So you know that Mint on Halloween, you were never gonna get in if you're over 50 kilos. Yeah, I would get in, but everybody else wasn't. There was Set, for example. Nobody would get in. I got rejected, and it was like a bunch of snobbish people, and they never let me in. I've never stepped foot into Set because I was overweight. But that didn't impact me. What impacted me is that
I love your confidence, by the way. that you didn't see it, you didn't feel it, you didn't care.
You know, at 150, it's funny, today I'm wearing like a sleeveless blazer, whatever you call this. At 150 kilos, I would still wear sleeveless. And I have stretch marks on my arms, and I embrace them. I'm fine with them. They don't affect me or impact me, right? But when I graduated from my first master's was in health policy and hospital management. So I did rotations in the hospital, and they put me in the gastric sleeve ward. And that was like, okay, people were inconfident. They were down. They were upset. I'm like, okay, maybe it's just them. Then I did my master's in nutrition. These people don't even know what a burger looks like. They've never had a burger. They've never had a pizza. One, I would sit in my classes and I would eat like the Cerelac biscuits.
Yeah.
That was my snack in these classes. And I think everybody had a heart attack like watching me. And I would drink Coke, not diet, adi. Because I was just like content. I was fine. But then it started really affecting me, like my back. I had back pains, my knees. You know, I just, health-wise, my health was not doing well. And on top of it, like, the first time I actually felt like, not insecure, because I'm generally very confident. In my 20s, like, I really liked this guy a lot. And he was very fit, very good-looking guy. And someone had made a comment to me, like, you look like a seal. I'd cut my hair bangs. You look like a seal. And really that hurt me. Because I'm like, how's this guy gonna like even look at me? You know, like we're in Miami. He goes to University of Miami. Do you know what girls in the University of Miami look like? Crop tops and booty shorts all day, every day.
معروف.
معروف, يعني, exactly. So that was kind of my first, but the reason I do what I do is because with working with the first client I ever got, I didn't have a business in nutrition. I just had an Instagram page that a friend had opened for me. She called me and she said, I follow you and I love her so much. She's my friend now and she's from Abu Dhabi. She's my first client. And she said, I follow you and I've had a hard time losing weight. And then she started telling me about everything. As strong as I look like, I'm very sensitive. And I'm very sensitive to people's problems, not to mine. And if I have a problem, you'll see the Hulk. But if someone tells me like, my daughter, I don't have enough money for my daughter to eat, I won't sleep at night. Like, I swear I'll start crying over the most, when someone like is sick or passes away or whatever, I tell them, please don't tell me. Because it stays with me for 30 days and I'm like, it eats me.
Yeah.
Even like the Palestine thing, when it started happening, I couldn't sleep. Like my baby, I was very strict about my baby being in a bassinet or bed. We started this lovely habit of him sleeping next to me because of the whole Gaza thing. Like I don't talk about it on social media as much as I should because I'm so like, I choke up, like I can't talk about it. I choke up now. The reason I did what I do or I work the job that I do is because I feel like maybe I had health conditions that didn't let me be slim all my life. But the one thing that helped me is that I have confidence.
Yeah.
And this is because of my upbringing. I thank my dad for this. But I speak to so many women. I've spoken to thousands of women. And I can't even tell you when I hear stories of, I'm getting married and my husband to be doesn't know I have stretch marks. I don't know what to do. And I'm like a low-key feminist, right? I'm like, hey, Willy, stretch marks, من زينة. I start going crazy, right? Or like, I don't care that you, what? Like, my social media following and my clientele opened my eyes to issues I didn't think or knew existed. Or my husband cheated on me. Look, there's a lot of my husband, because a lot of my clientele is women. My husband cheated on me مع واحدة, with someone younger or fitter or healthier. I'm like, what? That exists? Like my mom and dad and my grandmother, my grandfather, my grandmother, my grandfather, all of them, my uncle, everybody's been in their marriage on average 40 years. So this is so odd to me, you know. And my mom like would always, when we were young, we were brainwashed with her saying, عائلة متفككة, الطلاق عائلة متفككة. I'm like, she's old school, you know. She doesn't look old school, but the mentality is. So I started like, we were very sheltered. That I started hearing and seeing things I've never seen in my life. Her son would fail at school, she would gain weight. The nanny would run away, she would gain weight.
Wow.
Her father would get sick, she would gain weight. And I'm like, okay. And the lack of confidence that these women have is insane. And the reason I do this, like, I'm surprised you were my client because I don't attract very many male clients. I'm sure your wife told you to join me, but
She did, yeah.
that's what happens.
Yeah.
I dedicated my Instagram to women because I'm a woman, because I feel like women need more support, because I feel Arab men don't understand women.
I would agree with that generalization.
I love these, like, I'm very...
No.
I told you, I'm a low-key feminist.
We're just
right?
warming up here.
You know, and I feel like these women need support, these women need help, and these women need to be strong, and they need to be confident. Because I also feel like all these women are getting all these plastic surgeries,
Yeah.
you know, or looking a certain way, or being a certain weight, either because they're influenced by people like Kim Kardashian, good for her, she's a great marketeer, or for men.
For men.
And I want to be that person who says, hold on, I want you to look a certain way, I want you to dress a certain way, I want you to be a certain way because that's the way you want to be,
yeah.
not my certain way.
Those are the right reasons.
I have clients and I have friends who are in niqab, and I respect them and I appreciate them and I learn so much from them, right? And I have the same friend who thinks booty shorts are not short enough, and I respect her and I learn from her. And that was one of my roommates in college. So you have the extremes. What's right or wrong is not my business. But what's right is that women need to be empowered, women need to be confident, and women need to really love themselves. And unfortunately, I don't see that. And I don't see that. Every 9 out of 10 clients are not that.
You can't relate to that because you came from a different environment.
I came from a different environment, not because of my mom. My mom was brought up in a society or in a household where the man works. The man gets sent to London to study, you know, and they don't work. And my grandfather would take care of them. That's the mentality. And my grandfather, God bless him, Allah yarhamu yani, but he was very old school. He was born and raised in Kuwait, and God knows when, okay? And he was very like, no. And if my grandfather ever thought that we go to the beach and wear a maillot, I think he would like die again. Sure. You know, it's that people don't think there are conservative Lebanese people. No, there are conservative Lebanese people. My mom's family is conservative Lebanese, right? My dad's family, on the contrary, they're very conservative, you know. If I tell you that they're both conservative in their own ways, but my dad's family is very, very educated. And not only are they educated, but like my father was sent to boarding school. My father went to the US to study abroad. So his mentality is different, you know. And for him, he has 3 girls. I'm the eldest. And the way my dad raised me, I used to always say, my dad raised me like a boy. But no, that's what my mom used to say. أبيك عم بربيك كأنك صبي. لا. To you, كأنك صبي, because that's how the boys were raised in your family. But بيي عم بربيني كون قوية. My father is raising me to be a strong, independent woman. He's raising me to not be scared of anything or anyone except God. He's raising me to love myself, even when I was 150 kilos, even though it used to hurt him that I was overweight. You know, he's raising me to be able to raise my child in a way that he doesn't need anybody, not even me. I don't even want him to need me. Like I tell my baby all the time, I'm like, you're a lion. You know, what does a lion do? Because I want him to feel that like strength and that power since he's a child. And this is something you don't get that when you're like 10 years old. You get that the day you were born. And I tried to, my dad did that with me and my sisters, but in different ways, because there's nature and there is nurture, right? So my nature, and my dad says, you were born fearless and you were born aggressive. He's like, I would yell at you for doing something wrong, and I would be like, stop yelling, you're so loud.
Wow.
You know, and he would put, like, my dad had a khizarana, like a stick in the back, and he would always like threaten. And I put my hand out one day and I'm like, hit my hand, I'm tired of your threats. You know, meanwhile, my sister Dareen, who's very smart, like genius smart, right? If my dad raised his voice, she would be scared. So it's naturally, we have different personalities. We're born with different characters, but it's just how and what happens in your house. And unfortunately, for a lot of these women, not everybody had my father, you know? And my dad was open-minded, but not open-minded. Like, we have to pray, we have to fast, we have to do all the things that we're supposed to do, you know, in Islam. But at the same time, a guy could call me at home, but of course he was listening at the other line, which I discovered later on in my life, right? Or like, I could have any friends over, anybody I wanted over, but I couldn't really go to anybody's house. Anybody could sleep over my house, but you see it's weird, but that's what lets you be a strong, independent woman, is that there's someone who is pushing you to be better, who's confident in you. You know, today I was thinking about like confidence earlier in the morning. I'm like, how did my dad build confidence in me? If I tell you that I used to be shy to do public speaking, would you believe?
No.
I wouldn't believe, right? So we had like drama and play classes or whatever in school, and I would whenever they say, you know, who wants to be the main role, I would hide. And then my dad asked the teacher, he's like, why isn't she the main role in acting? Like, I'm a great actress, great. I love to sing even though my voice sucks. So why is she not the main one? He's like, she never wants to be. So he's like, no, I want her to be in the main role the next play.
He pushed you.
So he pushes me. Like, or sha'r in Arabic, me, I would do it. Or even drawing, I can't even hold a pencil. All my life I held a pencil like this. And he would put me in art classes. So he pushed me to think that I'm capable of doing anything I want.
That's why you're confident today.
And that's what builds confidence. Unfortunately, Arab fathers back in the day were not like that.
No, they shelter.
You know, they shelter you. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do this. There's a lot of things I wasn't allowed to do. If over his dead body, I would sleep over at someone's house.
Do you know that the last 7 minutes of you talking about of how your father raised you is exactly how I want to raise my daughter, who's 1.5 years today?
And that's how there should be a balance. I would say, you know, we're 3 girls. He was a little bit more aggressive on me.
Because you're the eldest?
No, I don't think about eldest. I think, you know, now that I have a child, you test the child.
Assessment of personality.
Not only assessment of personality and strength and everything. Like, at 5 months, I wanted to see if my child could roll. Right? It's too soon. But honestly, I don't even read these books. I don't care what they tell me is what age. I'm going to do things when I feel like my child is ready. So I would push him, roll, and he would roll. And you repetitively do it. I swear, I have a nurse who helps me at home, and I'm so grateful for her. And she'll be like, Madame, you can't do that. I'm like, we can do whatever we want. Just practice. Push. And the child rolls. Now the child wants to like crawl. It's too soon.
You're like,
because
trust me, I didn't get to Nat today by my dad following a manual.
Exactly. My father did not follow manual. I don't think he knew what he was doing. I just think he wanted someone. He wanted his. All parents want their kids to be perfect, right? And everybody wants their child to be, number 1 in class valedictorian or whatever. Before I used to say, no, I wouldn't want my child to be that, right? But low-key, my child is going to be class valedictorian. My child's going to be an athlete. My child's going to be social. You know, those are things we all want, but you can't say, I want it, and you don't work on it. Of course you have to work on it.
You do. You helped your dad a lot with his diet. there's no doubt in my mind that you are his nutritionist. Was there
He says he gains weight because of me. That's why I'm laughing.
really? Was there something that you saw that alarmed you, or you just wanted to ensure that he can, live a healthy life, eating the right things? And how is he doing today?
He works out he does cardio 3 hours a day.
MashaAllah.
Okay, so that he's done marathons, and this whole marathon thing started because I enrolled him in a marathon, right? And then he went through with it. But what made me with his diet, I told you earlier that I have pancreatic insufficiency. So I have a very interesting gut. We don't even want to, that needs 3 episodes on its own, right?
Can you talk a little bit about pancreatic?
Pancreatic insufficiency is your pancreas doesn't have the right enzymes for the foods you eat, right? So, and you don't know what's going to work out and what's not going to work out. And I have to take medication before every meal.
And the result of it could be a very unhappy stomach.
Very unhappy everything.
Okay.
It affects your mind, it affects your gut, it affects everything. It's
We won't go there.
Don't remind me. So basically from now till the day I die, I have to be on the medication before every meal. And the medication is a prescribed enzyme that helps my gut. My pancreas acts like I have diabetes, but I don't. Go figure. And today I'll eat something very fattening and it'll do amazing. And then tomorrow I'll eat the same exact meal. And for whatever reason, I'll have 10 trips to the bathroom with, diarrhea. Wow. So it's tricky, right? And on top of it, it's just, my digestive system is a mess. Why? I don't know. I was born that way. So, of course, I like to collect data. And I don't know anybody in the world. Well, before I had pancreatic insufficiency, I didn't know anybody in the world who has pancreatic insufficiency. But I really had a hard time because I had to find a doctor. I don't know what I had. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I was gaining weight, and I don't know what was going on.
It's a rare condition.
Very rare. Alhamdulillah, all the conditions I have are very rare. I'm a rare person. Okay.
You are.
So I started getting clients. When I would ask questions, I would ask them how I felt.
Okay.
And it usually happens at a very young age. But of course, how would my parents know? So I would ask do you get this? Do you get that? Do you feel bloated suddenly? Do you suddenly get angry? Do you suddenly have 10 days of constipation and 55 days of diarrhea? So too much information, but that's what it is. And they would say, yeah. And then does it kick in with bacteria and this and that? Yeah. So I started figuring out people who have the same condition, but they didn't know they had the same condition, right? So I started monitoring my house because this has to be genetics. And I noticed my dad, he would eat dairy at night. If he eats it in the morning, nothing happens. Same. If he eats akkewi at night, he can't sleep at night. He has reflux. He feels like he's going to throw up. So I started monitoring, his belly would get so big. And my mom would be like, Shawi, you need to do a diet. The guy's skinny. It's not, his legs are skinny, his arms are skinny, but it's just his belly. And that's how I would feel. And then I told him, I'm like, Baba, I think me and you have maybe mine is a bit more extreme, but let's figure it out. So please take this enzyme, please take berberine, please take this, please take that. I would do tests on him and he's willing because he trusts me. And that's how he started losing weight. And on top of it, he loves to run. I think it's a stress reliever because he's a very hard worker. And of course I care about my, parents, my mom included, their health because they're over 60. So with everything I've seen, I've come to the realization that people have the conditions that they have, or most of them, because of being overweight or unhealthy. So yeah, I do focus on what they eat, but I also make them gain weight.
There's a lot of our decisions in our 30s and 40s. Do we have to live with those repercussions in our 60s?
100%.
Is it crucial to really know what you're putting in your body today? Because when you get to 60, it might be difficult to reverse it.
I think, I'm going to tell you something. Not only what you put in your body, but what you go through. I believe stress. Look, I'm going to tell you something very weird. You know how I tell you, I think about every person who's sick or dying.
Yeah.
That's me. And I think about it at night. So a few days ago, I was looking at pictures of my uncle, God, يعني Allah yarhamah, and he passed away from, he had cancer for a few years, and then he passed away during COVID because of COVID. Oh. He went to get his like radiology or chemo, and he got COVID, and he passed away. So when I think about his lifestyle, he's your typical Lebanese man with food. Like he'll eat lunch, light dinner, whatever. We'll walk, that's his exercise. But when I think about him working, he's a person who work. Yani he was in Kuwait, Iraq, Afghanistan, like all these countries where it's stressed and it's war zones. And he would work there. And did he make money? Yeah, he did. But was it worth it for me at the end of the day? No, because he didn't enjoy the money. No. Well, how do I feel that the cancer came out? Personally, I think it's because of stress. And I think a lot of people now, and there's a lot of studies on this, but who am I to sit and talk about these studies, right? I'm not an oncologist. There's a lot of people who have cancer now more than ever. Why? Because of stress. And stress doesn't mean because you're stressed at work only. Stress could also be from pollution. Stress could be from the things that you're eating. It could be from your mind always working, or it could be lack of sleep, or whatever it is. And we see cancer now more than ever because of stress, the stress that we're putting into our body or mind or soul. And it's imperative that we take care of ourselves, because I've lost a lot of people who are young or relatively young, and it's because they didn't take care of themselves and all they did is work and make money.
It's a real thing, this. Stress is like a new epidemic.
It is, but people don't realize that.
You think you can get cancer from smoking? Obviously, it's the most common one. My dad died at 63, but I think the stress he was going through didn't help it spread to the spleen, didn't help it spread to the other lung, didn't help that he had to take one lung out and only survived another 30 days on the second one.
I mean, I do think we have, like, with something like cancer, we have the mutation, right? Everybody has a mutation in their body, and it's either on or off. What turns it on, I believe firmly, is stress and things you put in your body and the way you live and your lifestyle, how healthy, how it is or it's not. So why is it that now all these people are dying from cancer, or everybody, or young kids are being diagnosed with cancer?
The numbers are up, right?
They're scary. It's so scary. And the survival rate is a lot. Like, how many people, I'll tell you something. My grandfather had cancer at the age of 35, right? And mashallah, I think he survived it up to 80. But my grandfather, I remember to this day how he would eat. And it was stomach cancer, intestine cancer, pancreatic cancer. And that's why I have like this fear of pancreas, because like I know somewhere in the genes something's off, right? But it's okay, we'll continue living. I would see how he would eat, and for as long as his weight was never high, he was always a slim man. He would always go to chemo or whatever, and then he would take my grandmother at 5 p.m. for a walk around the house, no matter what was happening in his life. The food, he loved sweet, he loved pastries, but all his plates were this big. I mean, yeah, they cut off a piece of his stomach and a piece of his intestines and all of that, but he would never eat chocolate more than this, rice more than this. Everything was small, but he ate everything. Portion control. And when I was younger, I don't know why, I was always so curious to know, why does he eat that way? And of course, I love to cook, right? So I would make pastries like Queen of Menaish and Fatayr, and I would be like, please eat. And he loved me a lot, so he would eat to like jamilni. But I know he probably never ate that. I think that he maintained living that long with cancer. It's not like it went away. It would go and it would come, it would go and it would come. And every organ in his body was failing for 45 years, right? To the point, like, I remember when it went to his throat, that he would speak and we would all act like we understood what he was saying and nod, but nobody, I'm sure, I've never talked about this with anyone.
It's deep.
Right? But I'm sure nobody understood what he was saying. But جاملنا, and we went with the flow until the last thing that was functioning was his brain.
Yep.
Right? But why? How did he last so long? How come my uncle didn't last more than 3 years? Because my uncle, the day he passed away, was on his computer in the morning, giving orders.
Stress.
When he was in like the intense, like the last part before you pass away, he was telling his wife, like, tell the lawyer this, tell the lawyer that, relax. And I have this saying that I always say, and everybody looks at me like I'm crazy. الميت بتروح عليه. What are you so stressed about?
Yeah. An overscheduled life is not worth living.
Exactly. And that's why, like, remember before when I told you in the summer I refused to work?
Yeah.
I think I've seen, like, look, money is important. You all want nice things, right?
Yeah.
And I love nice things and I love a good living. But what's the point of living with so much money if inside I'm not okay? And I'll say this to you, I'll tell you an interesting story. In COVID, I was like low-key depressed, but I didn't know. Okay, my sister Darine, Dr. Nat Basma, she's a therapist, right? So she teaches at Carnegie Mellon, top university. She's a therapist, great psychologist. I used to tell her, crazy people are crazy. What are you going to do to fix them? You can't do anything. Big mouth. COVID comes along, and my lifestyle used to be Monday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Kuwait, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, anywhere. If I wanted to go to New York, I would go to New York that weekend and come back. It was like that.
That's nuts.
Nuts. Not married, no kids. My money is mine.
Why not?
What's my biggest responsibility?
Yeah.
To talk to my clients on Sunday? Sure, I'll talk to you on Sunday. See you Sunday, right? And I have a lot of energy. Yeah. So then COVID happens, and Kuwait had, I don't know how it was in Saudi, but we had a full lockdown.
Yeah.
My mom was in Lebanon. My nanny, who has a very special place in my heart, was in Lebanon. My sisters were everywhere in the world, and I was with my dad. My dad is very, very quiet. And if I don't speak, I'll die. Yep. If I don't socialize, I swear I'll talk to myself. I used to walk to university, just to let you understand. I would walk to university, no one walking with me. I would do calculus equations in my head just to talk. I would speak in a little bit of French so I wouldn't forget French. I have to talk.
Star sign?
Sagittarius.
Are they known for
being extra hyperactive?
Talkers and needing someone to talk to on the way to class?
I would talk to anybody. I would meet people on the street if I had to, right? So with that being said, I was in COVID. I was stuck at home. We had like strict rules in Kuwait. So I decided to like get on a strict diet and lose 20 kilos in Kuwait. And I did it because I was walking every day in the 2 hours that we were permitted. And I thought I was doing amazing, which I was. I had reached my all-time low, 63 kilos. Today, I'm like 69. So 6 kilos for my height is a lot. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? And on top of it, I had launched Ghazal, my program that I'd followed to lose weight.
First iteration.
First year.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something.
جديد. اكسر الروتين مع أطباقنا الجديدة من بيتزا هات جدة. بيتزا هات جدة، ذوق طعم الثقة معنا.
Many businesses, I have many businesses, right? A lot of people, like, I don't expose what I do in my life. I'm a nutritionist. For the public eye, I'm a nutritionist. The most successful year of my life was COVID. And I'll tell you why.
What were you selling?
No. Okay, I'm going to tell you. Like, it's like, this needs a moment.
Take a minute.
Okay. What was I selling? So I created this Ghazal program right before the COVID lockdown, right? So I'm sitting, and I'm gonna wrap this to my point of happiness. And so I was like, I've come to the realization that a lot of people maybe can't afford talking to me, and I really want to help as many people as I can. So I want to create this program that, I had 15, 20 kilos that I needed to lose. And I was stuck in Kuwait because COVID was at its beginning and my father wouldn't let me travel, whatever. So I was sitting in Kuwait. So I was like, I have to sell this program. And I was walking bil Mamsha. I think from this interview, you probably see my ADD, right?
It does wonders for the episode, by the way.
Yeah, left, right. Anyways.
You are a very easy guest.
ADD.com.
Continue. I love it.
Okay, so I was walking with Mamsha and I had lost so much weight. I was size extra small, maybe extra small. I don't even know what I was. So one lady was like, Mashallah, Mashallah, Ghazal, Ghazal. Right? In Jabriya. That's where my father lives. My parents live, yani. But my mom wasn't there, so my father. So I look and I'm like, Ghazal. So I walk home and I'm like, that program, I'm going to call it Ghazal. And that's how Ghazal started. By the way, all my great ideas are because of me talking to random people.
On the flight yesterday, I was trying to determine the significance of weight loss and a gazelle.
I'll tell you, I did all the research.
You kind of answered where it stemmed from, where
Right.
the gazelle was integrated. Continue.
So I go home and I do this Ghazal program and I had lost a lot of weight. Number one, I can't do surgery. Every person on this planet who says I do surgery, guys, I have pancreatic insufficiency. Google it. They can't play with anything in this area because I'll fall apart in 3 seconds and I'm at high risk. Like, my family has history of stomach cancer, intestine cancer, pancreatic cancer. We're not going to play that game, right? I wish when I was overweight, I could take Mounjaro and Saxenda and all those things. But if you do the background, if you have any pancreatic issues or thyroid issues, you should not take them because it just makes it worse, right? So everybody came up with all this gossip, like Nat Basma lost weight. I'm like, wallah, I'm sitting at home making lasagna every day, cleaning my own house. Wallah, yani, you start appreciating, like, COVID made you appreciate everything.
Truly.
So I launched this program, and of course, I was selling like hotcakes. Not because I'm a genius, but, and I swear, I have to throw this comment out there. When I started being a nutritionist, I did not want to be in an office. Even though I'm amazing with people, but part of the problem is that I talk a lot and I socialize a lot, that 20-minute consultation will be 5 hours gahwa, and that's not how it works. So all nutritionists were offline. They were all in clinics. I've been online since way back when nobody even knew, like, there was a point in my life I was teaching people how to go on natbasma.com and buy a plan. That's how far ago I was online, right? So
10 years plus?
yeah, a long time. And even before nutrition, I had a business online selling swimwear and resort wear. So I'm the queen of online just because I hate going to the mall. I hate going places. I like things on the phone. It makes it easier and I can multitask.
If there's an easier way to do it, you'd rather do it.
Yeah, and I'm always doing 25 things at once. So I'd rather be on the phone with a doctor or a nutritionist and doing other things as well. Yeah. So everybody's what?
I think it's a male-female thing. Like, males struggle to multitask and you guys are a lot better at that. So being on the phone to the doctor and teaching someone how to go on natbasma.com while checking on your lasagna the oven is probably something that you would do.
I swear that's me. Like, my husband tells me, you make me easy. Like, sit down. Right? So everybody had clinics and nobody knew what COVID was. And here, Mrs. natbasma.com, you guys are all going to learn right now. And I went on this like mission. I'm like, I'm going to get everyone online.
Nice.
One of the struggles I had in the Middle East was other nutritionists or even doctors attacking me because, like, why is she online? But that's not your business. Focus on your work. I've worked in the US. I had a very affluent job and I made very good money. Very good money. I had great bonuses. You know, I started working at 17.
Yeah.
Right? So when I tell you at 25, I had an affluent job making amazing money, I had a lot of experience already. I had my own business online. It was called Boutique Tutu. And I closed it, obviously, in resort wear and swimwear. Nobody was online. Nobody had an Instagram. My Boutique Tutu account had 300,000 followers when nobody had Instagram, right? I used to do ads with some girl in Poland and Sweden and I don't know what. I would pay them $50 and they would wear my bikinis and I would sell like hotcakes. So
where did this business woman drive come from? Also your father?
From him, but not in a good way.
Oh, really?
I'll tell you. I'm going to make sure he never watches this interview. This business drive came because as children, my mom and dad both worked. My mom is a very smart businesswoman, so is my dad, but they're just very different personalities. My mother is very aggressive. My dad is passive aggressive, even though he doesn't show the aggression, but I know he's passive aggressive. And they both came from very good families, very, very good backgrounds. Both my grandparents had money, but my mom got married, she married my dad, and my dad was sent off to Africa to manage his dad's business. But with that being said, there's ups and downs in life. And when I was younger and my dad, like in 1992, my dad had it down. There was a war in Africa. I didn't know better, right? So I didn't know, my lifestyle didn't change. I always went to private school. Always had amazing summer trips. I don't know if I would consider it a spoiled child, but like I lived a good life. Then when I went to college, I was in Miami, and I received a call from my mom saying that, we don't have money anymore. And it was when the stock market crashed. And my dad had put money in the stock market, and he put money in bad investments, and everything crashed at once. And she's like, you have to leave the US and you have to come back to Kuwait because we can't put you in school anymore.
Tough call to take.
Tough call, and I'm sure it hurt my father a lot, but I was like, I'm not coming back. I'm in a sorority. Hello? I'm living the Miami dream. Like, look how قد سخيفة.
Do you know what kind of a sorority I'm in?
But seriously. I was in the cool girl sorority.
University of Miami?
No, FIU, Florida International.
Okay.
So I was in the sorority. I was president of Muslim Student Association. I was president of Arab Student Association. I was president of everything.
You had it going for yourself.
Yes. I was like social life 101, right? School, college. Well, I don't even remember the anatomy class. I'm like, and my bachelor's was in biochemistry, and I'm not an idiot.
I'd say.
At all. But my social life was on full edge. Yani, khalas, it's happening. So I'm like, no, I'm not coming back, and I'm going to figure it out. So then my dad comes to Miami and he stays with me, but my dad's not my dad. And he would just walk. And I think that's when the walking started. Walk everywhere. And he wouldn't talk a lot. And one day he was sitting at home. I had my friend with me. We were sitting in the room. I come out and my dad's like, I don't feel good. My heart. So I take him to the hospital and they say he's under a lot of stress. يعني, I thought he was going to have a heart attack and die. صراحة. That was my first sign of weakness that I seen in my dad. I was like, okay, then I'm just going to get a job. So I go and I apply to, it's so funny. I go and I apply to a job in the catering department in college because over there. And I lied to them. I needed a job. And I told them that, I'm studying finance because the job was, I read the job description and whatever the description was, I said it to me.
Yeah.
صح? So I said I'm studying finance and whatever. So they gave me the job.
Wanted to take it anyway.
Anyway, I took it and I'm a quick learner, so I learned. So I did the job. Then I was like, they're paying me like $10 an hour. Who has time for this? On to the next one. And I applied for a grant, right? And I said my sad story in writing. And I said, this is what happened to me. And I'm a US citizen. So I'm like, this is what happened to me. And my dad can't afford putting me in school. I'm getting a job. But I don't know what I wrote, صراحة. But I got a grant.
It worked?
Yes.
Whose idea was that? That's very creative.
I just did financial aid.
Financial. And you got it? I
got it. Then I was like, why am I getting grants? I'm smart. I have the grades. I applied for scholarships. I got them. Then, oh my God, I'm so creative. I did a lot of things. Let's keep it at that. I would apply to jobs and I kept on getting paid better and better and better where my school was covered. 100% covered.
Nat, it's rare that you're good in school and you enjoyed the Miami.
I'm selectively good in school.
Selectively good.
يعني geography and history.
Forget about that. You don't need those two classes.
يعني I'm trying to remember what I did to pass, but okay, I passed.
But like in biochemistry or nutrition, A student.
A.
A. So
Yeah, but I'm a science person.
so to be that and to know the names of the bouncers in the clubs in Miami, to be able to do both of those together is a tough thing to balance. And
Why?
because it's either
But you're
that,
young.
but it's either that or that, because most of the people I know who went to school in Miami, if they knew the names of the bouncers in clubs,
I wasn't partying every day. I
because
was
it's a
partying
hard,
on weekends and Wednesdays at Mint. That's it.
it's a hard city to find balance in, I would imagine.
But I'm a very balanced person.
I think that's
because
what
I'm
it
very
comes.
disciplined.
That's what it comes back.
And I had responsibility at a very young age. You know? يعني my father couldn't... the guy made bad business deals. Do I beat him? عادي. You know how much money I've lost in my life? I lost like $30,000 at 20 trying to buy bikinis from China, and then I received like baby bikinis, and it was all a scam. Yeah, and then what? The world ends.
And you enjoyed the fruits of his labors leading up to that. You know,
Right.
if his investments hit, you wouldn't be complaining, and when
صح.
they don't, you got to stand by
I
them.
mean, when all his investments were hitting, we were traveling.
No complaints there.
No
You know,
complaints. I mean, was I hurt? Yes, I was hurt.
Yeah.
Was I disappointed? A kid. You know, but am I grateful that this happened to him? Yes.
is there the Nat Basma who I see today? Is she there if your dad didn't go through what he went through?
No. The fat Nat. Sorry, guys. This is
You're speaking about yourself, so no one's
Okay.
gonna.
Fat Nat and let's say the broke part of my life, and even like comments that I've heard in my life, they shape you. There are things that shape you in your life, right? But I would say the fat me and that, because you know my father is a person I look up to. I still do, right? But now we have businesses together. It's different. You know, he does his thing, I do my thing, and we respect each other and we meet in the middle, but I'm very aggressive and he's not. But that, because I felt he was broken, I felt rage.
Yes.
And by the way, I had gained more weight at that point. I felt rage because, and it's my father. He's the only man figure in my life. Again, remember, I come from a very sheltered family. And being in Miami, yeah, okay, I had a lot of friends, but that was it. I felt like I remember asking my mom, like, how much money did Baba lose?
I want to make that back for him.
Yeah. تخيل.
You felt responsibility.
I felt responsibility, and then my other sister, Darien, was joining me 2 years later. So I wanted to make sure everything was okay. And we're very different personalities. Yani, Darien is very smart. And she's one of the smartest people I know. Like, I look up to her. But she's very academics. She's the writer, she's the researcher. She's, you know, the real definition of what a doctor should be. You know, and I say that because she has a bedside manner. She's sweet, she's loving, she's caring, but she's also she's a genius, you know. And the social skills, she's selectively social, and she's a lot quieter than. And if she was here, you'd have a hard time speaking, you know. So I just felt like I felt responsible, and I felt like maybe Baba was training me all my life for this moment. And since that happened, I just never stopped working because, you know, when that happens at a young age and you're used to a certain life, two things could happen. Either you go into, let's get shit together, or you get into, and I've seen this happen to people in my family, where they're so shocked because these kids are so spoiled that they don't want to ever be employed. They still live in La La Land.
Yep.
You know? Alhamdulillah, my father is, today he's doing amazing, better than ever, mashallah. He's very smart. But what I remember is that. And that made me realize that, number one, as a woman, I should never be dependent on anybody. Yes, of course, I want to marry someone smart and successful. And my husband is very smart and he's very successful. And he's just as charismatic, if not more. And people love him more than me, right? Because he's a lot cooler and calmer. And of course, he's head of household and he takes care of us. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop working.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm going to stop making money. That doesn't mean I've told him, I'm like, Hassan, I want my son, when he sees me, he says my mom's goals. And that when he wants to like bring a woman over, he makes sure he won't get a loser to my house because she will not be welcomed.
He'll bring a mini you.
I hope so. Maybe we won't get along, but okay.
I respect that so much, by the way, that you felt that it was a duty for you to be responsible and be there for your dad at a time when he was going through a hard time, by the way. That's proof of character right there.
But also, I'm going to tell you something. In life, you either choose to feel sorry for yourself.
Yeah.
Or you choose to like get over it.
For sure.
And my favorite sentence is get over it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to sit and cry. Look, there's a lot of things I talked about on the show right now that really, really, really impact me. Like the death of, my uncle, or my father losing all his money, or me having a condition that I have to live with for the rest of my life that doesn't have research on it. And I was pregnant and I take pills before my food and we don't know if it affects the baby or not. There's a lot of issues that I have, but I get over it. I have stretch marks. Get over it. If you either find a solution and you work towards a solution, or you get over it. We're not going to sit and waste our life on a petty issue. And the issue might not be petty, but you need to make it petty so we move on.
It's the victim mentality that drives me up the wall with people.
Yeah.
I came across a saying yesterday and I posted it on Instagram. And it said, if you're still blaming others, you're nowhere near it. If you are blaming some people, you're halfway there. If you don't blame anyone, you've arrived.
That's true.
Don't blame anyone. You're either making progress or you're making excuses.
I agree. I mean, look, we're not perfect. And sometimes we have to make excuses, right? To get over it. But we can't sit and like dwell. I hate dwelling. Dwelling doesn't take you anywhere.
It's a waste of time, right? I often think of what the dead, and I've said it a few times, what the dead would do for one more day on earth. And imagine us, that will make you, I got you that.
Yeah,
it'll make you never want to waste a day.
I'd be in Capri on a boat.
Good choice.
Summer plans. My summer plans are my one. I mean, look, some people would say that was my immediate reaction, right? Now that I rethink the question, maybe I should go to Umrah or Hajj. I told you I have two extremes to my personality.
You've worked with so many people, thousands and thousands of people. Is there a common denominator that you have seen that stops people from achieving their goals?
They feel sorry for themselves.
Back to the victim mentality thing.
Or I can't. Or lack of willpower. That kills me. And sometimes people don't get my sarcasm, but I'm like, how do you not have willpower? Sure, the brownie is jumping into your mouth. The brownie is there.
Sometimes it does not.
No, it doesn't. The thing is, I don't feel sorry for people.
No, you shouldn't.
Because you choose your path on this life, You decide if you want to be overweight or not. You decide if you want to be successful or not. Yeah. You decide a lot of things. You make a lot of these decisions. Okay, there if you 1%, if you have a health condition, I have a health condition. I didn't decide. I don't want that health condition. But guess what? I have to live with it and I have to ta'ayash. I have to get accustomed. But if you're the 99%, people need to be focused. People need to be determined, and people need to set goals and get going. Like stop the excuses. That's my aggressive side.
It's true. I mean, we were talking before the cameras were rolling that I'm currently on your program, down 6 kilos. And it's always in Ramadan. And this year, I'm really going to push myself, Nat. that when Ramadan ends, I don't gain the weight back again. Because that's what happens to me. What do I want more? That burger or that cookie or that brownie? Or, as I said before the cameras are rolling, to not feel self-conscious with my t-shirt off on the beach. I want that. I'm 40 and I don't want to start feeling 40.
You feel 40?
Now, recently, after I tore my meniscus and gained 15 kilos, in the morning I feel 40.
How?
Body pains, slightly lethargic in the morning, gaining 15 kilos. There's just a lot more moving around my body when I'm walking, and it's not the me that I know. I'm used to being 82, 83. I had no business being 98, 99. And tearing my meniscus, okay, not to make any excuses, but it made me stress eat, it made me move less, and I ballooned. And unfortunately, I'm in the business now where I see myself on camera and I see that I'm a lot larger than I was. And my goal this Ramadan is to lose 10 and to keep it off and work my way back down to 85. So at the age of 50, I feel younger than 40. I have 3 kids and my wife, Sarah, and I want to be healthy for them and for me. And just to really control myself from stress eating.
But there's something you said that's interesting to me. I want to be able to walk on the beach and not feel a certain way.
Number one goal.
Right? But you shouldn't feel a certain way.
I get self-conscious of my belly.
Why? What's up with men and their bellies?
I don't like it. Like maybe I'm a visual person, so I want it to look good. You
don't feel attractive?
I feel eyes on like
your
my belly if it's there.
But that's only in your head, right?
Maybe it is, yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. When I was much younger, I would always wear sleeveless and كلها حرانة. So I would always do this to cover my stretch marks, always. And then my head, I have, a lot of hair, so I would get like migraines.
Yeah.
So then I realized, one time I'm like, why do I do that? Who cares about my stretch marks? Who's even looking? Yeah. If I didn't point them out to you, you wouldn't know. You're not going to see them. And the same thing with your belly. Nobody sees them. Trust me. But I do understand that you want to feel a certain way. There is a feeling that comes with being healthy, and there is a feeling that comes with being light. But I don't know, as a man, is there a confidence level that comes with...
Definitely. I mean, if I'm in a tux or
you sound pretty confident to me, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's a bit of a spring in my step now because thanks to you, I'm down 6 kilos. But when I'm in a tux or in a bisht, sorry, I feel like I'm the shit. There's something about it. Or, when... don't mean to plug, but IWC very kindly gave me a watch to wear, and and just having it on my wrist, like on the plane yesterday. I don't wear watches. I'm not a watch guy. I'm like, hey, look at that thing. It's it's quite nice. Not to be materialistic, but I want to feel good about myself, and the more in shape I am, the more I feel good. The last couple of years, I haven't been in shape, and it's the least social I've been. I'm a social butterfly, but I found myself at home more often than not because I'm very sensitive of my weight, and I've gotten comments in the past. I would crawl into a ball for a week if someone said, Mo, packing on those kilos, brother.
Yeah, see, I don't appreciate those comments, and I've seen those comments happen with my husband. Like, and what's the worst comment? Like, your wife's a nutritionist, why are you gaining weight? What the hell, leave me alone.
That's why they drag you into it.
Why am I being dragged into it? And I really don't like those comments, and I think it's a very Middle Eastern thing to do. The thing about him, for example, and most of my clientele, is there's no balance. I can order escalope and eat this much of it. I love mashed potatoes, and I love butter, and I put butter in all my food. Even when I'm on a diet, rice, I add that spoon of butter on top. Like,
there's mixed reviews on butter. Is it okay or not okay, or are you gonna say in doses?
In doses. But I have to have butter. I will not eat my food without butter. Refuse. There are things, if you want me not to eat bread and chocolate, I won't eat it. But if I need butter in my life. you know? So
I love it on the Iranian rice from Iranian restaurants.
so yummy. I wouldn't get rid of that in my life. And I've lost weight eating that way. I just don't openly say on Instagram, please add butter, because then I see people putting tubs of butter.
Yeah.
And it's like a different story.
It's gonna...
But it's all about balance. So he was eating, let's say, 6,000 calories a day. Of course you're going to gain weight. And you're eating several times a day, and you nibble, and you do this, and you do that. And of course you're going to gain weight.
This goes back to the story of your grandfather. Portions. He ate everything, but it was just these tiny bites. And
100%.
if I recall, he'd go on a walk every night.
day.
Yeah.
Every
Portions and movement.
Sah. I mean, I say, was I strict when I was obese? Of course. When I was 150 kilos, it's not about portions. It's about elimination. Yeah. I eliminated soda. I eliminated fast food. Eliminate. Because 150 kilos is so far away, and it could be demotivating really quickly. So just eliminate. Once I'm 100 kilos, yeah, okay, there were more free days, but still, look, it took me so long to lose weight. Imagine, and I was strict. Imagine if I wasn't strict, I'd still be losing weight. Now, at the weight that I'm at, I can eat whatever I want. Yes, okay, in Ramadan, I do my programs. And the beginning of summer, I do my programs because I want to look a certain way in the summer. In the winter, I don't really care to be shredded, yani. Okay, I'm never shredded, but you know what I mean, right? I don't have to look like a model in the winter. Adi, I'm covered up. And in real life, I'm not going to look amazing all year. But in the summer, yeah, I want to look amazing. So, of course, I get on my programs. And, of course, I'm very strict and adamant about my program. But in the summer, while I'm traveling, no, I'm going to eat everything, but in portion.
Yeah.
I don't have to eat all the burrata salad or carpaccio, pasta. No, adi, a little bit of everything and balance. And I'm fine. And I told you this earlier, I don't gain weight when I travel.
Yeah, why is that?
Because I don't do breakfast. So I start doing intermittent fasting.
Give me your routine when you travel.
No breakfast. I have I have a coffee.
Up at 9 a.m.?
La, earlier.
Earlier?
Yeah. I'm a 5 a.m. person.
Oh, wow.
Mutawajjah.
Okay.
Yeah, so 5 a.m. I'll...
my God, it's aggressive.
Anywhere in the world. It sucks.
Today you woke up at 5?
Yeah, every day. If I wake up at 7, I'll tell the nanny at home, like, why don't you wake me up? No. Hello? What if I'm dead?
You know something funny? I slept at 5 a.m. last night.
Oh, what's
Ramadan schedule, and I was overthinking. I wanted this to go really well, and I've been sleeping late in Ramadan. But
You're interviewing me. Of course it's going to go well.
I know, for sure, but still, like my perfectionism. But yeah, I slept at 5. Okay, so you're up at 5. You have your...
Up at 5, I have my coffee. Well, pre-baby or with baby?
With baby. Let's talk about the current Nat.
No coffee. Give baby milk. Give baby milk. Change him. Put him back to sleep. So he sleeps till like 7, 8. And then I have my coffee.
What kind of coffee?
Black coffee, cappuccino, anything.
No. Oh, you put milk in there?
Yeah.
Low fat?
Lactose free, just because I'm very sensitive to lactose, but lactose free milk.
Coconut, almond? None of that, huh?
I don't like that stuff.
Okay.
I like real stuff.
Yeah.
Like this whole craze, chia seeds, matcha, I don't know what. No, not my thing. I just want regular food. For me, this is all like crazes.
Yeah. Skip breakfast.
Skip breakfast. And I'll have like a very good lunch.
Now, when you're talking about this, are we in Italy?
Yes. Very good lunch. Yani, obviously I don't travel without my husband. So let's say we're in Italy. The menu is on the table, khalas, because he loves to eat and he loves to try food, and likewise. So the difference between me and him is he wants to eat full meals, full portions, all of it. Meanwhile, I won't. I'll nibble. But I try everything, and I'll have my dessert, and I'll have my gelato, and I'll have everything.
You follow your grandfather's system.
That's the only way. I don't want to gain weight. Yeah. I don't like to be on a diet. I've spent like 15 years of my life on a diet.
Plus, being full is one of the worst feelings.
I feel, and with my condition as well, like you get lethargic, and it's so... Yani, I'm at a fine line between good and bloated.
Yeah.
Because my bloated game is very strong. And I don't like feeling bloated. Affects my mood. I like being light. And with my child, I'm very, very, very hyperactive. Yani, if I try to feed him milk and he wants to go to sleep, he knows that mama will play with me and he won't go to sleep because that's the personality I show him. Like I'm the singer, the dancer, the boxer, that's my character with my son. But am I the one who's going to feed him and give him milk? He probably doesn't want it because he just wants to play with me. That's the energy I give off. So when I eat a lot, I'm just like horrible. I'm sleepy. I'm bloated. I don't like to... Look, you see the word sleepy? I don't have time to sleep. You can have good food and still lose weight. And honestly, anybody who lives with me or knows me, look, I might not look that part. Maybe now I do. I'm a little bit fluffy. But if you live with me or you're my close friend or I eat at your house, when I eat, you say, mashallah. You know, it's not like, I'm serious about food.
I like how you own that.
No, I'm not going to sit and starve.
Yeah.
I've been very skinny in COVID. Like I was so skinny. And my goal in life is I wanted to look like Naomi Campbell. I was obsessed with her. I took her measurements and I would measure myself weekly. And if I pull out my phone on the notes, I reached her measurements. Like my thigh was this big. My arm, sankuha, like this. Nothing. I was bones. And I looked at myself in the mirror. I remember that day my dad, because I told you in COVID we were home alone. And my dad was like, you look sick. Are you okay?
Just when you were 63?
And he's like, you look sick. Are you okay? Like, I looked so bad that my teeth, I started losing fat here. That I thought my teeth moved, and I went and I got a dental appointment in Kuwait. And I was like, maybe I need braces or something. And it was not that. I lost so much fat in my face that I looked like this. Everything was to the front, and horrible. And I was just a bone. And I have pictures. I'm so weird. I have pictures of my back just to see how bony I got. And that was my dream, right? But I felt like shit. Like there's no other word to describe. I felt like shit. I looked like shit. Okay, I had that like thigh gap 3 meters apart. Okay, and I just استفدت with a thigh gap. Like, what did I gain from having a thigh gap?
There's such an obsession these days on that thigh gap.
I was the size extra small. I was wearing super tiny clothes. I didn't even have, I would wake up and my brain is functioning like Nat, hyperactive. But when I would get out of bed, I was like, دايخة.
Lightheaded, yeah.
Lightheaded. And I'm like, what is this? What is this life? Like, get nourished. Start eating.
Then you managed to get a couple more
I was
kilos
also
on.
like at one point, there was something off with my pancreas, so I couldn't eat either. But the point is, it's not about how skinny you are. I don't want to be skinny. Like, I have a lot of girls now who've seen me post giving birth. They're like, oh my God, you've lost weight, but you're not what you used to be. I don't want to be what I used to be. I'll be honest with you. I've worked so hard in my life for my metabolism to be insanely quick. Insane.
How do you do that? How do I do that?
Working out and protein.
That's it, huh?
I'm like a carnivore. And I could eat like a steak like this.
That's my language too.
And I work out a lot. Again, because of my pancreatic issue, I don't release enough enzymes to equate how much protein I'm eating. That's why you don't see like muscle definition like you should. But if I didn't have that condition, I really would honestly be shredded.
Yeah.
I eat so much protein in a day.
Is it cardio or weights or just jacking up your heart rate?
Cardio.
No cardio. You move weights.
I can't walk from here to the end of the street. Not because I'm unfit, because I hate it. I hate walking.
It's boring.
It's not boring, but like it gives me back pain. I don't like it. I'll run because it gives you like, okay.
Yeah.
But walk, no. I feel like, no, not my thing.
So weights?
I love Pilates. I like weightlifting. I don't do weightlifting because I love it. I do it because we all have to weightlift. We all have to be strong. We're aging. Our bones are changing.
Weak things break.
Exactly.
When my trainer told me that, I was like, light bulb moment.
No, and not only that, like, you know how you said at 40 you feel like back pain?
Yeah.
That's lack of muscle. anywhere you feel pain is lack of muscle. Like I remember I hadn't worked out for a while, weights, and I was doing a leg extension on the machine. So my right leg was fine. My left leg was like stuck. And my trainer, she's an exercise physiologist. She's not like really a trainer. So she's like, you know what's going on? I'm like, maybe I slept on it wrong or I walked. She's like, no, this muscle has gotten weak right here. So that's why you can't lift. So any muscle that gets, if your quads get weak, this gets weak. This gets weak, this affects this. This gets weak. Everything gets affected.
Yeah.
And it's like a domino effect, you know?
Start compensating.
So things start breaking and you just don't feel good and you have to, I don't enjoy lifting, but I do it.
It's necessary.
I do it 4 times a week.
Yeah.
It's homework and I do it. The 4th day of the week, I'm dying. Fine. I get lazy, but I love like Pilates. I love bar. I love all the workouts.
So when you come to Jeddah, you will come to the Pilates room and Sarah offers both those.
Wallah.
Yeah. You'll get a chance to do some Pilates there.
I mean, Pilates changed my body, to be honest.
It's such an underrated workout, really.
It really is.
I dare anyone to do it and not walk funny the next day. Like, it's going to get you.
It's funny, when I first got married, again, I got married in 4 months. So I met my husband January, in April, he خطبني. And by May, I was like already كاتبة كتابي.
When you know, you know.
No, you don't know. I didn't know.
We'll get to that.
Now I know, but okay. So we're very different people. He's workaholic, like businessman, overachiever. And I'm like workaholic, but in doses.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm like a seasonal workaholic. I work well with the seasons. But
literally, that's what you do. You take 3 months off every year.
No, you don't even know. Like I don't have the brain capacity to work more than 40 days at a time. Like I'll work 40 days like a diet. I'll diet 40 days, diet.
Hard.
Hard.
Yeah.
Day 41, I'm dead. I collapse. The same, before Ramadan starts, every year, because I work so hard in Ramadan and I launch like incredible programs, I take like a long vacation. I feel like I have to get pumped. That's exactly what happens to me, So when I met him, he's workaholic, like super responsible, super honestly, not because he's my husband, but his goals, صراحة, his work ethic is incredible. And I can't work 16 hours a day.
It's insane.
365, ما في balance.
That's crazy.
It's insane. And I tell him, like, babe, like, are you just like really good at work, or you love money that much? Like, what's going on? And it's probably a combination, but he challenges himself. So when I came into his life, I was like, every day I'm like, okay, I'm going to Pilates and I need to get my flat white lactose-free barista temperature. That's my order. Okay? And he's like, what the hell is, and it's like clockwork every day, 10 a.m. I'm like, why don't you join me? La 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 la. And he's very macho, like old school. He's like, la 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 la, انت ballet. I'm like, babe, it's not ballet, it's Pilates. It's ballet. La 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 la. And I felt like the first class he went, I swear, I felt like he wanted like abaya and to be covered so nobody would see him. I'm like, you're in Kuwait, nobody cares. Nobody cares about you. You don't live in Kuwait. خلصني. So he goes and I tell her, I'm like, start with the hundreds. A core. Go. Kill him. And within 40 minutes, the man was sweating. And his sister teaches Pilates as well. So I'm like, so? And he's like, damn. And now he does Pilates consistently. And like sometimes we train together and he tells me, I don't want you to train with me because, you distract me and you talk too much in class and you're not focused and I burn more calories when you're not around. Like, okay, relax, ballerina.
Now he's consistent with it, huh?
Very consistent.
I'm liking males entering the space. It has this stigma that it's a female thing, but it's not. It's not.
The founder of Pilates
is John Pilates.
And it used to be like therapy, physical therapy for people who went to war.
It pinpoints muscles, like the amount of combinations or variations you can do. It's
crazy.
It's unbelievable.
And you just like shift your leg a little bit. It's like another muscle.
Yeah. And you think it's just lower body. No, it's not lower body. It's upper body.
I personally saw a shift in the way my body looks because all my fat I was very heavy in the bottom, like my thighs. And I don't like, it's my personal preference, I don't like big thighs. And when I started Pilates, it like melted it away. And it's all the pulsing, pulse. And I'm like, and people, I remember one nutritionist in Kuwait wrote to me, he's a male nutritionist, and he was like, you know, I never believed in Pilates, but then I started sending my female clients to Pilates because I saw your body change. And he's like one of the most influential male nutritionists in the region. I'm like, oh, damn, okay, good.
Are you happier today?
Then when?
Are you the happiest that you've ever been today?
Alhamdulillah. I'm very content. I'm very grateful for what I have and who I am, and having my family around, marrying who I married, and having the son that I have. Yeah, and even the help that I have, I'm grateful for them.
Is anything missing?
No. Maybe the people that passed away.
Yeah.
But other than that, no. But like, if I'm going to talk about me as Nat. At this stage, I've learned a lot from my mistakes in the past. I told you I'm very social, and it's obvious that I'm very social. And this socialness used to like not be good for me, because I would befriend everything and everyone that walked on the planet, and they would all enter my home. So number one, this doesn't exist anymore. My home is my sanctuary. Very few people come into my house, you know, as social as I am. Number two, I got married at a late stage in my life, and I never wanted to be married. And that's why I told you, my marriage is perfect for my character and my personality, and probably just as well for my husband, because we're both very busy people, and we both have our ways, and we don't live together all the time, but we meet in the middle. So when we meet in the middle, we're on our best behavior. We're on honeymoon. And really.
It works.
It works, because I don't know if he can live with someone at 24 hours a day, and I don't know if I can. And I've learned to adapt for my son, but I've also gotten rid of a lot of things in my life for my son. Yani the going out, the traveling, the non-stop socializing, all of that stopped.
It does when you get married and you have a child.
Like when you're married, you can
things.
still be a social. Yani I'm much more social when Hassan is in Kuwait, you know, because he leaves Congo, he wants to de-stress, so I'm a lot more social. But when he's out of Kuwait, I'm a lot less social, and I just see like certain girlfriends that are like my sisters, and that's it. But the focus is my work and my son. And you know, the other day I was with my dermatologist, and I said something to her, and she was shocked. She's like, I can't believe how straightforward you are. I'm like, there are 3 things that are very important in life. And she's like, what? I'm like, number 1, your health. Because I've been in the hospital where I've heard them say I might not live.
Shit.
And that's when my pancreas was acting up on me. So number 1 is my health, because nothing else matters.
Nothing.
Okay. Number 2 is your family. And family is everybody. It doesn't have to be just your mom and dad. Yani my mom, my dad, my husband, my child, my sisters, you know, it could be friends that you consider family. And number 3 is my bank account. Those are the 3 most important things. She's looked at me, she's like, why? I'm like, because your health, without it, you're nothing. You're a piece of dust. Yeah. Your family, I've learned the very hard way, at least in my case, alhamdulillah, I'm blessed with a family that I have, whether it be my mom, my dad, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, like that, or the friends that are my sisters, and my siblings, of course, and husband, وهيك. They're there for you. من غير شروط.
No matter what.
No matter what.
I love you.
And I've filtered, and I've kicked out, not filtered, only kicked out, like kicked out
Good.
people out of my life without explanation. And I have that bad personality. Like,
No, I think it's a good personality.
like, I don't even want to talk to you. I don't even want to tell you why you don't deserve to be in my life. Out. And
Not everyone deserves an explanation. Not to continue.
True. And third, money is important. Why? Because when I'm sick, believe me, I needed a lot of money to get better. Health insurance, my health insurance is not cheap, $15,000 a year, because I have a pre-existing condition. That's not cheap. Child, you want to put him in the best school, you want to put him in Swiss boarding schools, you want to go to Le Rosé, that needs a lot of money. You want to travel and be in Capri this summer, that needs a lot of money. So when I stick your fun and the lifestyle you want, whether it be you're on a grand yacht or on a small boat, all of it needs money to a certain extent. It just depends on you. What's enough? And I know what's enough for me. And I know that money doesn't bring me happiness. It's my health and my family that does bring me happiness. But money brings me kamaliyat, and it helps me achieve some goals that I would like to achieve for my son. So
Very, very fair analysis of the three.
so that's what's important. Everything else,
The good and the bad of social media. Are you able to ignore the low-level thinkers, the nasty comments, the mean people out there?
look, I'll be honest with you. I think the people who receive the nasty comments fall under two calibers. One, the fashion influencers. And in the Middle East, they call them fashionistas because people like to comment. So do people comment on me? I don't post, wallah, I'm wearing this. I don't even know what I'm wearing, this and tag this and that. That's not my job. So will I get those comments? I won't. My job is to influence you in the term of what you're eating and how healthy you are. And sometimes I'll put beauty products because I've tried them and tested them. And I really do care that my followers are really beautiful. Yani, none of the supplements or none of the I advertise, for example, dermatologist I'm advertising recently. She didn't pay me. I went and I paid, and I'm a regular client. I just loved her experience. So I put a review, and people trust me and I'm credible and they know that they see a difference. So they go. So will I get these comments? No. Will I get comments like, oh, how come you don't have muscles like someone who works out as much as you do? I don't need to give you my life story. And quite frankly, I'm very comfortable in my skin.
Thick skin?
Very. Well, the thing is, I feel sorry for some people behind the screen because it's so easy to comment behind the screen, but I dare you to sit in front of me on that chair and say that same comment to me. You won't be able to, because you need a certain type of character to be able to hurt me. I won't let you hurt me because you don't matter. And I know what my goal is with social media. The day that I'm not influential anymore is the day I'm going to close my social media. I've never in my life had a personal account. Even when, remember how I told you I had a boutique in Miami and I had
22.
And I had so many followers. I never had an account. My account was opened by a friend. It wasn't opened by me. I don't care to post what I'm wearing and where I'm going.
It's not you.
Mish, it's not me. It's not my job. There are travel influencers who do that, and there's fashion. And I'm not the most fashionable person on earth for me to be advising on fashion. صح ولا غلط؟ My style is my style. It's not the style for everybody. It's what I like to wear best.
So your mission is not what am I wearing?
Mission
it's
is
what's on the
different.
inside. It's
My mission is different. My mission is, feel good, look good, be healthy. And if someone's going to sit and attack me on social media, be my guest, habibti. You don't affect me because you're not in the circle that I consider family.
Does it bother you that in school nutrition isn't being taught, but dance and English literature and history to some degree?
Of course.
It is being taught.
What the hell am I going to do with English literature?
For example, actually, I've made a note of the most silly subjects still being taught in school. 5 different math classes: algebra, pre-cal, calculus, geometry, standard deviation.
Great if you're going to study science or engineer or whatever, right? I went up to Calc 2. Sure, I needed it. Fine. But how's that essential? There are things that should be taught in schools that are not taught, that are much more important than derivatives.
Yeah.
1 being nutrition, 2 being public speaking, 3 being investing your money, Like, why don't you teach kids stocks?
Yeah.
Like, there's this app where you can put like fake money and you teach them. I want to do that for my child. And maybe you graduate or you get an A if you make the most money, or there's so many things you can teach kids. So do we need classes? Do we need a different education system? A kid. And everything, not only nutrition.
I remember in biology classes, we dissected a rat, I think, or a mouse. I'd much rather know about lactose intolerance. I'd much rather know how long does it take to process food. I'd much rather know, carbs after 5 p.m. is probably not a good idea. Things that I could...
We want things that are relative to our life, not like random information.
What can I practice? So my follow-up question to the social media one was, do you care to be understood? But I think having spoken to you now for an hour and a half, I think I know the answer to it. About that, yeah. Good to know that my flight leaves in 20 minutes. I would tell you, correct me if I'm wrong, that I don't think you're the kind of person that cares whether you are understood or not.
Like, with social media, it's not about being understood. I believe, because I have almost 1 million following on Instagram and a few million on Snap. You have to select your words correctly, and you have to be politically correct, because my following is not all like me, and I'm not like them. There are people who are very open-minded. There's people from different religions, different backgrounds. Let's put it this way. My husband and I are from this almost same area in Lebanon, right? We both have fully Lebanese parents. Similar upbringing, similar style of schools. Ironically, my husband went and studied in Miami, even though he's older than me.
He studied in Miami?
Yeah.
Did you ever meet him there?
No, he's older than me.
Oh, so
he left. His father got him back,
okay.
But I never saw him because he's 44. I'm 37. So different.
7-year gap.
Different gaps. But at home, you see, when my husband came يطلبني, it turns out my father and his father did business together years ago in Africa, because he was also born and raised in Africa. You see all the similarities.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
Is it common with Lebanese to Miami and Africa, or is it
Miami
just...
Miami is not common.
It's a freak coincidence.
It's just a coincidence.
A coincidence, okay.
Right? With all these similarities, we're so different. We're opposite. My husband speaks fluent French. I can't even speak 2 words of French. My husband doesn't understand Arabic, anything, songs.
Yeah.
Or he doesn't read Arabic. While for me, Arabic is such an essential language. He will only read the Quran if it's translated 35 times and simplified to English. Meanwhile, for me, again, Arabic is very important. So with all these similarities, and this is a couple from the same region, the same area, the same everything, but we're so different, لدرجة, to the extent that when we got married, I'm like, what did I do? Why did I get married? Bad idea. Because I'm used to being a free bird, living alone, living la villa loca, and then I have this person to deal with right now, right? So now imagine you're following. One man, and after 1 month of marriage, I'm like, شو عملت?
Was it challenging early days?
Very challenging, especially when you're set in your ways.
Yeah.
Right? But now imagine 1 million followers, and sometimes I close my eyes and I imagine 1 million people. Hajjabe, naqabe, booty shorts, liberal, conservative, feminist, whether you like it or not, gay, not gay, straight, cheating on his wife, not cheating on his wife, married but doesn't really like women. All these people follow me. The reality is...
All walks of life.
All walks of life. I broke it down a little bit too much, but all walks of life.
I think you missed trans, but continue.
Maybe that too, and maybe all of these people, at least there's one from كل فئة that follows me, right? So I have to be careful how I speak. You can't be an influencer if you don't know how to influence.
No.
And you have to always be politically correct.
Absolutely.
To a certain extent. Of course, I have my views, and I'm very adamant about my views, but you also have to respect who's following you and who's watching you. If you're online to insult them, that's not my purpose. My purpose and my mission and my vision is to change their lifestyles. If I can change one person's lifestyle every day, from today till the day that I die, I'd be very happy. That's one person who is just eating better, feeling better, loving themselves better. Hatta some people tell me, we're already fit. We follow you because we feel like, we look up to you as a woman. Thanks. I'm happy. Or other people tell me, we thought that after you get married, you'd stop working. Why?
They don't know you. They don't know the real Nat.
But a lot of people said that. And that her husband, he's fine and he's good and he's good financially. Why does she need to work? Because he's good financially, I need to work. Do you know how long it took me to build my career?
20 years.
I've been working since I was 17.
You're not about to stop.
I'm not going to stop. Yeah. I can't stop. And do what? And go to the salon and do my nails every day? Change the color every day?
That's what it is. You cannot stop.
Personally, I can't stop because I've been doing it for so long. Yeah. It's not about money. By the way, I give so many people, like I have a client, she comes from a very affluent family from Sudan. She messaged me a few weeks ago saying, I lost my home, I lost everything. There's a war happening in Sudan. Yep. And she's like, my SIBO kicked in, like she has a condition. Can you please give me a discount? I'm like, of course, I'm not going to give you a discount. Talk to me, tell me what your issue is, and I'll help you. So I give many people free consultations because I feel like they need it. Yeah. Again, my goal, of course, nobody works for free. But if I could work for free and help as many women as I can, I will.
Because your mission is help.
Yeah, my mission is help. And I feel like I'm like that tough mom.
Yeah.
That how are you still overweight? How are you still lazy? Move, yalla. That's my mission. My mission is, how do you not love yourself? How are you not confident in yourself? Are you still nagging about your stretch marks and your cellulite? There's no solution to stretch marks. Get over it. Move on. Cellulite, stop eating junk. Move on. This is my mission. My mission is very solution oriented. It's not dala oriented. My personality is not dala oriented.
Maybe you're the mother that many didn't have. They have a mother, but their mothers were easy on them, and then they give it to them. They didn't give it to them straight the way you give it to them.
Probably. Maybe.
The voice they needed.
I hope so. I hope I'm that person where when people think of them, they say, alhamdulillah, I'm inspired by her. Or alhamdulillah, she changed my life. That's the person I want to be.
Are you proud of how many lives you've touched and how far you've come?
Alhamdulillah. Very proud.
Do you ever think and be like, you know what? I'm happy with the good that I've done.
I'm happy with the people that I've changed their lives as if they've lost weight, yes. But I'm happier with the people who... I'm happier when I find out what's wrong with the person and how to make it right. Honestly, that's because I know how it is to feel pain and you don't know what's wrong with you.
The worst.
Why do I have diarrhea every day 10 times? Someone explain to me. IBS, you're stressed, but I'm not stressed. You're stressing me with that answer. I'm not stressed. You understand what I mean? When I discover what's wrong with people, why they're not losing weight, why they feel this way, why they feel that way, that's when I feel at the peak of success.
When you get to the solution?
When I get to the solution and they tell me, I pray for you every day because for the first time in a very long time, I can go out and wear normal clothes and it's not oversized. Or for the first time, I don't feel insecure around my husband. Or for the first time, I feel like farfoushi, light.
Yeah.
So that's when I'm happiest. Because weight loss, being overweight, if there's without any conditions, health conditions, it's a mindset. You choose to be overweight.
Me too.
My new saying is obesity in 2024 is a choice. You chose to be obese. Nobody beat your hand and told you to eat. Adi, you cannot eat. So I don't feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for people who have no thyroid. They had thyroid cancer, they removed the thyroid. Without the thyroid, your body doesn't have an engine. It's like a Ferrari without an engine. What do I do with that? And you got to take all these medications in order to fake an engine and you have a hard time losing weight. that's when I'm like, no, I really want to help you. But if you're just overweight and you're lazy, like I had a client telling me the other day, oh, I'm like, tell me more about your lifestyle. I eat and I sleep all day and I sit on the couch all day. I'm like, Habibti, sweetheart, get it together. Get it together,
She
child.
didn't even sugarcoat it.
Like, I'm listening. I'm like, I'm talking. Is she talking to me? I'm like, how old are you again? 22. I'm like, do you know what I was doing when I was 22?
It must get under your skin.
Look, this Gen Z has issues. بس يلا.
I always felt that, when I go to the States, I see the filth on the shelves. Every time I go back, there's like different flavors. I think there's an Oreo flavor for everything out there.
صح.
And I always felt, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not, that the unhealthy food creators and doctors and the drug business, so FDA, doctors, and food, it's a chain. We create unhealthy food, so you go see a doctor, the doctor recommends prescription. And they have quarterly meetings, if not monthly meetings.
I agree.
Do you see the conflict of interest?
أكيد.
Will make you sick so that you can buy the drug. Drives me crazy, and nobody has it worse in the States. And unfortunately, in the Gulf or in the Arab world, we've inherited that lifestyle. I know Kuwait either has or had a obesity issue.
Right, but if you look at the new generation in Kuwait, they're all very slim.
They're slim. I've noticed that in my 24 hours here.
It's different. It's different than when I was in school.
Okay.
You see, they're very slim. I'm like, do you need a protein shake? But good, I prefer you being slim. There's more awareness and there's more education and there's a lot of more nutritionists on social media and TikTok and this and that can give you advice. You just follow who you like, So I kid, it's definitely about awareness and education, but about off the shelves and pharmaceuticals, of course. And medication is like, especially in the US. There's a pill to everything.
Everything.
I'll give you an example. When I gave birth, they're so funny. When I gave birth in the US. So I was like, I have a home in Miami. Why not? So I thought it would be like the best experience on earth. I was horrified. I mean, compared to Kuwait hospitals, and I was petrified.
What can you recall?
I don't want to recall anything. So of course hospitals here, like is it private my hospital was private in the US, and so I'm comparing private to private. Here it looks like a hotel.
Okay.
There it doesn't look like a hotel.
You wouldn't have it again over there, inshallah, with a second baby. You wouldn't have it in Miami.
No, not in Miami.
Is that bad?
No, I was horrified. I really was. Maybe it was just my luck, or I don't know. Again, I tell you, when you live in Kuwait, you're spoiled. So the hospitals look different. My doctor was excellent, but the thing is, the doctor is not the experience on it fully. No. There's the nurse, there's the beds, there's the everything, right? There's even the doctor who gives you a bit of الظهر, I don't know.
Yeah, it's epidural.
Epidural. I was allergic to the epidural.
Oh my God.
I felt like I was drowning and nobody took me seriously until my husband went downstairs to smoke. So I texted him. I'm like, please come up because I'm maybe dying. So until he showed up, he told the anesthesiologist, like, my wife told you that she has a condition and, I don't do well with medication. Like my body reacts to everything. So you gave her too much epidural, or maybe you gave her the right dose, but it just didn't work for her. The guy, he's a doctor. He's an anesthesiologist. That's like the most respectful and respected job, right? He started fighting with my husband and walked out of the room. How do you walk out of the room and this lady is about to give birth?
Yeah.
And I'm in pain. And I'm not in pain because I don't feel the pain. I'm in pain because I'm drowning.
That's messed up.
So my experience wasn't all that. My doctor, again, I said, was phenomenal. But giving birth it should be like the hospital, the doctor, the nurse, the pre-care, the post-care, everything. So I didn't receive that, unfortunately. I don't know why. Why did I tell you this?
We went down the road of doctors and FDA and food
Right.
and medication, and then you said in
So
the US.
speaking of medication, when my baby was born, they want to give you a vaccine. I refused to give him the vaccine. It's like the hepatitis vaccine.
Yeah.
And they all show why? Because it's my baby, and I don't want to give my child vaccines. And that's my choice. And you can do whatever you want with your child. You know, the child's just born. Give him a moment. لاحق, he's going to take all the vaccines. He's required to go to school to take all the vaccines. But I don't want to give it to him the second he's born. He's going to be at home anyway. And it's hepatitis. Like, where's he going to get hepatitis from right now? You know? So, or like when I was pregnant, they wanted me to take a whooping cough vaccine. I don't want to take any vaccines or any medications while I'm pregnant. I already take a medication that I have to take and there's no research on it. So I'm already stressed out. I'm not going to add to it. So I feel like, again, everything is a business. It's no problem. I understand. Like, everybody's trying to make money, right? And money is important, but not at the cost of someone's life.
There's ethical and there's unethical.
Yeah, and for me, ethics are very important. Yeah, and it's very... Look, I'm going to tell you something. I'm one of the very few influencers who doesn't get paid for ads. And if I do get paid for ads, it's because I've tried the product and tested it and like...
Loved it.
Loved it. And they found out about me because I've been doing ads for it.
Yeah.
I could be a gazillionaire doing ads if I wanted. But I chose not to because not everything is wow, khayal, amazing. It's not. Let's be real. Not every hair vitamin is amazing. My hair vitamin is amazing. I have my hair to prove it.
Yeah.
Right? So there is a fine line between business with ethics and business just to generate money. And for me, I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person that, yes, you paid for the supplement, but it really works.
My wife would vouch for that.
Alhamdulillah. That's very important.
10 years she was looking for something to stop hair loss, and she has finally landed on your product.
Alhamdulillah.
What's your biggest waste of time today?
I don't waste my time.
Next question.
I really don't. Like, I thought about it for a second.
You scroll? Mine is Instagram scrolling. Mine is Instagram or TikTok.
I don't
scrolling.
Instagram scroll.
You don't, huh?
I don't watch TV at all.
Inshallah.
I don't have an iPad.
You wouldn't just go through Instagram and scroll, huh? I want to get there.
No, I don't care. So I'm very anti-technology, ironically.
TV shows, no?
If I'm gonna, like right now in Ramadan, I'm watching one show. It's 36 minutes a day.
Which one?
زوجة واحدة لا تكفي.
Okay.
Like, it's so funny.
Heavy title.
It's funny. It's so funny, and
Egyptian.
mix Egyptian Kuwaiti.
Okay.
And it's 36 minutes. And usually I wake up like على صلاة الفجر. So or before it, so I'll watch and then I'll pray, or I'll pray, then I can't go to sleep and I'll watch. And that's all the watching I do. Again, I don't even my programs, like some of my best programs like Ghazal, were not done on the computer. They were done on airplane seats, written. And then I take pictures and I send them to my copywriters and all of that. Allah يعيدهم. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of technology. I love to read. So when you ask me books or articles or anything, but I don't like to watch TV. I never did. I go to the movies to eat popcorn and sleep in the movies. Yani.
So no favorite movies, but you'd tell me about a favorite book.
Not even favorite book, favorite article. I love reading about science. I love reading about nutrition. I love reading about successful people. I know like the history, the life story of every successful person that inspires me. Like now there was so much about the Ambani wedding, the Indian wedding of the billionaire. So everybody's like, oh, the jewelry. I'm like, I don't care about the jewelry. How did he end up with so much money to afford this kind of jewelry? So I read like his whole life story, his wife, how he met her. Heck, I'm intrigued by people.
Yeah, how that all came together.
How all that came together, what petrochemical company he worked for, when he seeked the opportunity, because sometimes God throws at you opportunities and it's about when you catch them.
Correct.
You know, and when you catch the opportunity and you run with it, that's when like the coin flips.
Yeah,
and like
happens.
Ambani, for example, that he was like that. I like to read about people. I like to read about businesses. I like to read about, everybody's on the Mounjaro craze, right? So everybody's like, don't take Mounjaro. 8 out of my 10 clients are on Mounjaro.
How do you feel about it?
I don't feel about it. It's about how they feel about it, because they're going to feel nauseous and tired and dizzy, but they're going to lose the weight. And it's not about losing the weight. It's about keeping it off.
Is this liposuction 2.0?
It's tape your mouth 2.0.
Okay, so it kills your appetite.
Kills your appetite. It works. Does it work? Yes, it works. Does it have side effects? Everything on earth has side effects. It's a choice. If I was 150 kilos and I couldn't lose weight and I didn't have money to do surgery and I couldn't do surgery and blah, 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 perfect condition, and I don't have any pre-existing conditions or issues, I'd probably be on Mounjaro too. But I would probably do it with a nutritionist.
Deep down, you recommend a natural way to lose fat, correct?
Honestly, it depends.
On?
Look, if you're 150 kilos and you're depressed and you're sad and you're tired and you're 28 years old, female, in the Middle East, and you can't get surgery to lose weight, and you can only afford Mounjaro, I would take Mounjaro because I can't afford being sick later on in life. Does Mounjaro come with side effects? Everything comes with side effects. Everything. Even the medication that I take for my pancreas has a list of side effects. This is supposed to save me. Everything has side effects. But what's better, being obese or getting rid of obesity? Not everybody has willpower. I've worked with the same clients for 10 years, and they're on Mounjaro and they lost the weight and they gained the weight. So a lot of nutritionists say, no, don't recommend it. I don't recommend anything. I recommend you do the research and you decide what you want to do. But if you think it's going to give you that push, by all means, be my guest. When I went to 99 kilos, I was slimmer everywhere, but my arms were huge and I wouldn't lose weight and I needed a push. I went and I got an arm lift. I went to Dr. Rubenstein in Miami. He's an amazing plastic surgeon and friend. I love him. That man changed my life. And he's one of these physicians that has amazing bedside manner. And I went to him and I'm like, my arms are huge and they're saggy and the shirts don't fit me. I'm a size large, but they don't fit me because my arms are a size extra, 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 extra large. What do? He's like, let's get an arm lift. We get rid of the excess skin, we sew it up and let's go. And I did that. Is that unethical? Yeah. I needed that push.
You feel better today?
The day I left that surgery in the morning, I went to Zara. Now we boycott Zara, but okay.
We do.
Back in the day, nobody attacked me. But that's the truth. I went to Zara then and I tried a yellow shirt and I wanted to see if a size large fit. And it did. And I cannot even tell you the push it gave me to work out more. And I dropped from 99 to 90 within 45 days while I was stuck on 99 for 2 years.
Yeah.
Sometimes in life you need a push.
Like a stimulant.
A stimulant.
Yeah.
It could be a pre-workout. It could be CLA. It could be quarantine. It could be collagen detox. It could be anything. But you have to realize that Dr. Rubenstein is not there every time I need a push.
Yeah.
And Mounjaro is not there every time I need a push. And Saxenda is not there every time I need a push. I need to eventually, this push can help me lose my first 10, 15, 20 kilos, but eventually I need to change my relationship with food in order to maintain that, the result.
If someone gave you a box with everything you've ever lost, what would you look for first?
My uncle.
Your uncle?
Lost as in, can they be humans?
It could be a Chanel bag, it could be a human.
No, I don't care about these things.
Your uncle?
He passed away.
How long ago?
COVID.
Oh, your uncle, you told me. Yeah. Were you very close to him?
Yes. Even though we would fight a lot, but with very similar characters.
How old was he?
47?
47. That's so young.
And he was the person I would go to the beach with, I would travel with. He's my very good friend. And his wife and his kids are my very good friends. I don't look for things that are materialistic.
It's not worth it.
ما يهمني.
Cheap.
Again, I'm very odd. يعني يعني it's embarrassing to say, like if I go jewelry shopping عيني ما تطق إلا على like 30 carats. Like the Ambani wedding affected me. صراحة. The jewelry was outrageous. But I'm one of these people who sits, since I was young, I would wear like pajamas and jewelry. Because it's just something I love. I don't do it for people. I don't do it for anyone. I do it just for me. You know? So when I look for things, I only look for those who يعني who you wish you would have spent more time with. My uncle was so young, you know. Maybe I would look for my يعني ما بدي افتحها مناحة, بس I would look for everybody who's passed, like my grandmother, my grandfather, my other grandfather, my uncle, because even like one of my close friends, Mimi, her daughter recently passed, I would only look for them because I would want to talk more to them. I would want to pick their brains more. Heck.
Anything in you that you have lost that you'd want to look for in this hypothetical bag or box?
In me? Look, I lost it, but I don't look for it. That's the thing. I like my new me because I've evolved with the times and with my situation and with who I am now. And I used to be very careless. And it was like so nice and carefree. I didn't have a care in the world. I even look at pictures of myself in my 20s. The way I smiled, I was so innocent and carefree and careless. ما همني شيء. But I don't want to be that person because that person was perfect at that stage. Right now, with the son, I don't want to be carefree and careless. Then maybe it's not maybe that's why I didn't get married. I was engaged in my 20s, you know? And I broke it off because I didn't want to be married and I don't want to have a family and I don't want to have kids. Now that I think about it, I wasn't ready. It would have been a zoo, not a house. There's nothing, I think I'm the perfect fit for my lifestyle right now.
And people who don't live the careless lifestyle growing up can rebel and be that late in life.
صح. And I sit and I talk to, I have a very, very good friend. She's a sister to me, Shog, in Kuwait. And I tell her, like, she has 2 boys and I have 1 boy. And I really think we're good parents, good moms. We're ragzin. We're very mature. And the reason we're mature is because we've traveled, we've, gone out, we've explored things. And me and her used to travel alone for like a month. Alone. Nobody else with us because we get along so well and we would explore and do this and we have so much fun. And I sometimes send her pictures. I'm like, هل حيرجع هالأيام؟ يعني will they come back? Probably not, because I'm not going to be, I used to be on an island and not call video call to see where my son is or call video call to see where my husband is, So that was amazing at that time. But now I'm in a different stage in my life, and honestly, I love the stage that I'm in. All my life, I've always been working so hard. I still work so hard and hustling and trying to get this master's and that master's and impress this boss and impress that boss and impress my mom, impress my dad, be a sanad for my sisters, have them feel that if la samahallah, if anything ever happens to my mom and dad, I'm there for them. Like I was playing, and my sisters are not married, so I always feel like this sense of responsibility, right? But now I'm even more responsible, but I just feel like I'm in a good zone because I've done everything I've really wanted to do. I've gone out, I've partied, I've traveled so much, but now at the age of ironically, at the age of 34, I remember I was in Ibiza on a boat. And I was just so bored. How can you be bored in Ibiza?
On a boat.
On a boat. Formentera.
I was going to say Formentera.
Right, and what the hell is wrong with me? What was wrong with me is I was so social.
Yeah.
I was with so many people, but I didn't have this connection.
Yeah.
And I found that connection with my husband. And when you meet the right person, or you have that right person, you feel like, I'm not telling you, no, my husband, you know, when they say, my husband completes me. No. He's complete. My husband's complete without me. And I'm complete without him. But we give each other that nurture and that companionship that we didn't have, you know? So at this stage of my life, I have that. And then when I had Hamoudi, the love I feel for Hamoudi is like no other love ever. My heart يعني melts for this child. And it's nothing I've ever felt before. You know, so do I want to be in a different stage, or do I want to pick up things from the past or people from the past? I don't want to pick up anything. I want to live my life today, Natalie, Hamoudi. The end.
So well said, beautifully said. Do you think everyone should experience motherhood or fatherhood?
I don't think look, I read something yesterday and it bothered me. One lady, she went to travel and she left her child at home in like some cage for 10 days.
Cage?
Mm-hmm. And she traveled, she's in jail, mu'abbad, for a lifetime. Does everyone deserve to have a child? No. Because children are a responsibility. It's okay to delegate and it's okay to have help. Today I'm with you in this conversation. I have amazing help that's very trained, very well trusted. My sister's at home, also helping. It takes a tribe to help, right? But not everybody should be a mom. Because if you are stuck on a lifestyle of, oh, I don't want to change my lifestyle, then you are not fit to be a mom. If you think you're going to go out, and look, maybe I'm being judgmental, maybe I'm being biased, maybe it's just, I don't know. But I'm telling you about me. My life changed because my focus is my family, my home, my work. So socially, I'm a lot less socially. I'm not out there in the scene anymore. I'm planning my summer around Hamoudi's diapers and Hamoudi's I don't know what. You understand? So summers are going to be different. Of course, I take trips with my husband alone, but maximum 1 week alone before I have a heart attack and die. But can everybody be a mom? I don't know. Can everybody be nurturing? You have to be nurturing and you have to be responsible. Motherhood is a responsibility.
Priorities. Not everyone has them straight.
So, I'm not saying that your life ends. And for me, I would never, ever in my life replace my motherhood for anything.
Yeah.
Ever. As much as I love my work, I love my son more. You know? بس
written all over your face.
بموت فيه. Every day in the morning, I whisper into I tell him, my child, of course, you know how I tell you train a child. I whisper, I'm like, Mommy, I'm going to tell you a secret. And I whisper in his child how much I love him and why I love him. Again, keys to communication. And now, why I love you so much. What you've changed in my life. How I feel different. Nothing can make me cry except my son. عرفت?
Children, they make you feel what you've never felt before in your life.
And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Look, I'm very religious in my own way and spiritual in my own way. God doesn't send you a child or a husband or a bala or a musiba or a problem unless you are ready to face it or you need it.
لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها.
And I have this as a painting in my house.
It's such a good ayah.
You know, when I got really sick with my pancreas, I told you, they gave me 7 to 10 days, I'm dead. And I said, and I kept on saying it to myself, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. I kept on saying it. I'm like, why? شو الامتحان?
God will not give you more than you can handle for our English audience.
And I'm like, what am I being tested for? And you know what it was? At that time, I was at my prime success. تخيل أنا بالمستشفى قاعدة أموت. I'm dying. I'm on Instagram posting about Ghazal. Nobody knows I'm dying. Wallah, I would do my albumin drips. I have 3 hours. I would post stories that show أنا غزال طائر. And I would cash in And the funny part, I would cash in and I would give away the money because I felt like I was dying. خلص. Why do I need all this money? شو حاخده معي على القبر يعني? I don't need it. Then when I got pregnant and I was giving birth, I told you I had a really bad epidural situation. The baby's heartbeat started going down and I stopped hearing the heartbeat on the Doppler thing. Before giving birth in like a week, I kept on delaying giving birth because I felt like I wasn't ready to have a child. I was so scared and I was so anxious. And I feel like God did this to me to let me know that whatever is coming is something I can't let go of. And I'm ready. And when the baby's heartbeat started going down and my blood pressure started like خلاص low, I kept on saying, and the doctors would say cesarean. I don't have anything against cesarean or not cesarean. You can do whatever you want. But I wanted a natural birth, no matter what, at all costs. Okay? I said, هلا صمت لأفطر على بصلة وابني يصير له شيء. Like, this is what I said in my head. And I was like, no, I want this child. I'm ready for him. I'm going to give him my all. I'm going to change my lifestyle for this baby. You understand what I mean? Even when I got married, I would bump heads with my husband about the stupidest things. And I told you, like, I speak very highly of my husband, and he's an incredible man. And we would butt heads to the point that I'm like, I don't want to continue in this marriage anymore after a month. Then, subhanAllah, I was talking to a friend, and for whatever reason, she tells me everything her husband's been doing to her. Stingy, cheating on her, beats her, bleeding, all the drama, and it happened on the day that I told him I don't want to continue. After 1 month of being married.
It's no coincidence.
It's no coincidence. And then, you know, when they say, I can't say the masal in Arabic, but like, and I'm like, Habibi, I love you, I miss you. Come back, I'll change. You understand what I mean? Like, things happen in your life,
of course,
to show you that خلاص, يعني, learn or change. There's no other reason. And if you're not willing to learn and you're not willing to change, good luck.
And eventually God will stop giving you signs.
صح. And I believe in signs. And everything, wallah, يعني, I could write a book on all the things that have ever happened to me. The good, the bad, the ugly, the signs of like, throw people out of my life. That's why when you tell me pick something you want, I don't want anything, because what's not in my life right now is not for me.
Less is more.
صح.
Quality time, quality. Finish the sentences. I feel most alive when?
I feel most alive when I'm with my family. يعني
The thing I value most in life.
Family.
The thing that bothers me most in life.
Liars. Disloyal, unethical people.
And I wish I knew this when I was younger.
Not all your friends are your friends because they love you. في مصلحة بالحياة. I'm just like dumb. I didn't know that.
Naive. We're naive when we're young.
Not naive. I wasn't raised to want anything from anyone or be friends with someone because I want anything.
You're just looking for genuine relationships and friendships.
I mean, some people want to be your friend just because you're famous. I mean, I don't think Instagram is fame, but يعني, I didn't discover electricity. I'm not that important. But people think that way.
If you can have a conversation with your 15-year-old self, what would you tell her as she's about to embark on the journey that you did post 16? If you could like send a letter, what would you advise her?
You are fierce. You are fierce. You are fearless. Do whatever you want to do. Believe in your gut. Because I have very good gut feelings, and I used to always. But my gut never fails me. Never. From people who've robbed me.
Wow.
To taken my money, to people I've invested with, to people who've يعني horrible. I've had some horrible people in my life, right? And my gut was never wrong.
You felt it, and then
I felt it.
What you felt eventually happened.
Can I tell you something?
Please.
One time I was in Cape Town on like a meditation trip, I didn't know anything about meditation or yoga or nothing. My friend Yelda was like, let's go. So I was like, well, it's a trip, let's go. And we were sitting meditating on top of this mountain. And I just looked at her and I'm like, I really have a bad feeling about someone I'm working with. And she's like, okay. So I wrote to my team member right now, Rena, and I told her, I feel 1, 2, 3, but I have no proof. Find me the proof, since the guys are, my team are great in technology. I'm the one who sucks in technology. And she's like, okay. So they did the technology work and my feeling was right. But it was out of nowhere. There was no like precursor.
Wow. Gut is a real thing.
It is. I think gut is a real thing. Gut is, you're very well connected to yourself, if you're honest with yourself, if you're real, and if there is some connection to God. And I don't like to talk a lot in public about God because I don't want to be misunderstood. And again, I've read the Quran, I've learned it in Arabic and then again in English. So I'm sure there's a lot of people who understand religion way better than me. But if nitak safi, what is that in English? Nitak safi?
Yeah, your inhibitions. Niya. This is why I keep my phone next to me.
Is nitak safi, then you get this gut feeling and you just have to trust it and go with it.
Intentions.
Alhamdulillah, I can say
good
that.
Intentions. Yeah.
I can say that I have very good intentions towards everything and everyone in my life, even if I don't know them.
I think that's where you win in life, really, not by what car you drive or how much money you make or how big your house is.
Sah.
The soul.
100%. And I think answers start coming to you.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. That's what's most important.
Thank you, Nat.
Welcome.
For the 6 kilos that I'm down, that I'm going to eventually be down 10 by the end of Ramadan, and I'm going to keep it off, for sparing me 3 hours today of your time, for everything that you've done for people in our region. And maybe, the reduction in obesity rate in Kuwait and the GCC, maybe you have something to do with it.
Who knows? So. Thank you for having me. This is my first time doing a podcast, and this is my first time doing it in English. I was worried about the English. But I'm grateful for you for selecting me to do this. And I'm also grateful for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for entrusting me. And inshallah, next time you come to Jeddah, you have a friend there and you have a studio to shoot part 2 in.
I was going to be like, forget you. I want to see Sarah do Pilates. I'm just gonna...
Much appreciated, Nat. Thank you so much. Thank you.